where
Have a desk.
you could really start a trend instead of a floor.
Yeah.
Crisscross applesauce.
Hurt my back after sitting in bleachers all weekend. There's Lindsay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, exactly enough.
You can take notes for both of us.
Okay, actually, let me restart. Let's do a quick intro if people don't know each other. I'm Ben, I been chairing the rec committee since we kind of reformed it in 2019. And I'm planning to be on the rec committee at least through the end of next year this time, a little later. I don't know when my term is up, but that's just what it's gonna be.
Wow.
Good luck.
Infinity.
My name's Sarah DiMartino. I think I know most of you here, and I've been on the board for about 2 years now.
Emmy Corbett, assistant director, is like, I guess, first full year. It's been my second spring.
How are you on this way?
Yeah.
I'm Jake, rec director.
I'm Liz Ross and I've been on the committee for a few years.
Jacob Graham, I am not on the committee, but I happen to be the town manager of Pittsfield, so that's why I'm here.
Jessica Louise, I've been on it for almost 2 years.
You want to go back and you can
Not official.
I'm Cory Kemp. I'm not official.
I'm glad it came to something.
Lindsay Holmstrom. I've been on with Ben since the inception. Working my way out. Sitting close to the door. If you want this, you have to take notes. Do you want this?
I'm Hillary and I'm unofficial.
Matt, same. So we do have, myself, Sarah, are actually the only two technically on the committee right now. You need to re-up, which is weird. For some reason that you filled out an existing term, which expired. So, I talked to the town clerk, she just needs you to give her a call.
Okay.
That's all, just say, yeah, you know, I'm interested in just continuing on the committee. So she'll just pop you back in. All right.
I thought I was expired.
Maybe you are, maybe you wanna check, I can't remember, I did just go.
They usually call, the town
They,
will call
they
you.
usually call, I think,
It was when, Nicole was like on, or something, ooh. So I haven't, I guess I hear, Nikki. Nikki.
yeah, I'll text you, because she just sent me that list last week.
Okay.
I was thinking there were two of us that,
Okay.
and then Liz has expired and is planning to kind of fade away over the course of the spring, and the same with Lindsay. And then we do have, a number of, we'll have 4 open seats other than the 3 of us, so. That's where the 4 of you come in. If you sit around for a meeting and you decide you're interested, otherwise you're like, the hell with somebody. So,
I'll keep you on task.
yeah, perfect. Keep me on task. All right. So we'll start off with just a little winter wrap up. Jake, lessons learned, takeaways from this winter. This is like your 3rd one now, so
Lessons learned.
it's getting pretty kind of standard, I think. Anything you want to do differently next year?
Get a new gym.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything different. I think we just need these gym spaces to take in. I mean, I think until that is figured out, it'll always be a little chaotic. I like we moved a little bit into Warsaw for Saturday morning. I like that. That was good. Cheer, I guess, would be the one, like how we had it, but it was hit or miss, right?
In what respect?
Most of the girls just kind of bowed out by the end.
Oh, really?
So we went from like 16 and like 5 showing up, and I'm not sure what that was, so. Gotta figure that out. That would be, but I don't know what the lesson learned there is.
Is it basically just cheer practices, or do they come to the games or
Um,
the events or anything?
I think the question, like, we didn't have enough girls consistently showing up to feel ready to actually do a thing, right? And most of them were really little. So that was where the coach was at. You put travel teams on here, I would love to see us have in-house leagues. Like an in-house program, right? And then have travel teams that we're able to pull out and play. That's what the town south of us do. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're not far, but we're not there yet.
Would those with those travel teams, I can't remember. We do like the 4 in-house, 5-16.
So yeah, we have 4 or
play each
5
other.
teams, everybody plays each other on a Saturday morning. And then we have one travel team that goes and plays in tournaments or goes and plays as the other town teams. Yeah, I think that's like, we brought the girls to a tournament this weekend, right? And that's all their like Skowhegan, Waterville, Winslow, right? Like all of those towns.
They kind of put a little all-star team.
And they've got they have an in-house rec, or a lot of them run through the Y in Waterville, right? So Winslow doesn't have to have their own in-house, they play in the Y when they pull out the Winslow kids. Which is kind of a good setup for them, but, Meso, like Oakland, I was talking with a couple of the Oakland parents, they run an in-house league, and then they pull out the girls for the travel team.
Also, they don't do like a little Oakland, Norwich walk, Waterville, Fairfield.
Nope, it's in-house, and then there's a travel team that goes and plays the tournaments on the weekends, which I think is what we used to do.
Yeah, we used
That's
to
how it was.
Yeah.
That's about.
after season, at the end of the
It always
season.
was after season, like you
Like-
run an in-house season and then
Yeah,
for a month or
and
2
then
months or however long you want to go.
we keep going and you hit up these tournaments and you play, and there's a bunch of the town tournaments and stuff that take place.
One thing I think, sounds like I heard this weekend was.
Yeah.
That, and I think we've done it different in the past, is you play your whole rec season and they kind of pick like an all-star team, if you will, or a travel team at the end of the season. It sounds like a lot of these teams are kind of making that tryout at the beginning of the season,
Yeah, so like,
so that they can have like a Sunday practice every week throughout and get that chemistry with
and that's like Oakland.
players at the same skill level.
I was talking with the dads in Oakland, and they said that's how they do it, right? They, well, they had tryouts before Christmas. Right, then, right, and then they started playing, they've been playing, and,
So a few months of extra practice with that.
and I think they do play,
Skill
I
set.
think they do play games. In January and so on, but, I mean, that would be the dream, I don't know if we're there we'd have to see. The problem is, I don't know, like, the boys would probably get there a lot faster than girls.
The
Girls,
sport team had like 22 kids on it.
Yeah.
Were there 2 teams or was there just one?
just one.
Oh, okay.
Just
There was a
one.
lot of kids. for
Yeah,
one
so
team.
they're at the spot of almost splitting into 2 teams. The trick is for an in-house league, we really like, you can't do an in-house league with 2 groups. You almost,
Could you do?
3, 4 would be better.
You could do,
Yeah.
if you could get teams of like 7 or 8 even.
Yeah, that's much better.
Even if you could get 3 and you could do little like, A plays B, B plays C, C plays A kind of thing in the morning,
Just,
have them short and just.
I mean, having 8 on the team was perfect this weekend, I think.
it's not a bad number, it's tough for practices. The issue
Right.
then becomes,
Well, you could do some like
You know,
split gym
lot of
practices and
yeah.
stuff though.
yeah, so we'd have to, there's ways we'd have to be more creative with gym time, there's more teams, there's more practices times, and, but. That would be, I think, the ideal scenario if we were going to level up. per
Yeah.
se. That would be.
You don't lose as much for canceled games because of travel and weather and.
With that being said, the travel league we're playing in right now. We're still right in the middle of the pack most of the time, right? I guess the boys were higher end.
Yeah,
But
that's-
I'd say middle of the pack. I think all of our teams finished in second and third place. We had, so we were top end of the pack, just.
But then when we went to that tournament down in Fairfield, we were like the bottom of the pack.
So,
So,
That's-
I don't know if that was what other teams, did you guys have that experience?
6th grade girls
They were
were,
third,
Oh,
yeah, 6th grade girls.
really, I mean,
won
they were very competitive, if not better than, really, it was just Skowhegan and
And
MPI.
And they
But
were.
other than that, yeah, they were just very, very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. I think you were in a situation, 3 or 4 girls, they lost a couple key players.
Yeah,
That kind of helped them.
yeah,
Play.
those were the ones who made the difference.
Yeah, well, it's really like to score back, you take away the ball handlers and you're in trouble.
Did you take all the girls?
We did.
They were all invited, there was no like,
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't like
So
your
what
top
makes the
8 or
difference
something like
between that
that.
and travel?
Really
You're not trying out.
Oh, you
What's the
okay, you're
difference
not?
between that and rec? Or
there
like
were
regular
like
rec?
12 that said they were going, and then every
you just kind of
game,
make-
less kids came
Okay.
back,
Oh,
so
that's
at the end they were down to like
specific.
6.
So there wasn't like
Right.
a commitment.
Instead of.
Well, no,
Travel
and
for the
because it
boys.
was,
So there's no traveling for the girls.
So
and they would.
Right, so we did like, there's nothing really in town for them, let's do a tournament.
Sports and practices were in the tournament.
Yeah, I think little tweaks if we want to kind of keep pushing that up and.
Just keep
trying to.
keep seeing numbers go up, like
Yeah.
Little's numbers were wild, right, and they continue to be wild, and it's awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
And I think that's like, if we can, like, we did essentially an in-house league with our Littles, it was co-ed, right, but, we had 4 teams of like 10. And they played each other every Saturday morning for half an hour and kindergarten, first grade, kindergarten, pre-K kids, no, it's first and second graders.
Yeah, pre-K was that.
Pre-KK we did in Victory on Saturday mornings, and then first and second.
Pre-K
grade-
never got games.
They don't, yeah, they're, well, they kick it the ball too, really, yeah, first, second grade does first and second grade does, they did like an in-house league at Warsaw in the mornings on Saturdays.
And I
That's pretty-
sat there on the timer counting how many kids went on the floor.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
So that's, and that was, but that number seemed to go up, they've increased each year, right, so
I think,
we'll plateau eventually, but.
I think it's a reflection on the work you guys are doing and the structure and the organization and the gym time.
And I think we're bouncing, yeah, I think that
Coming back. from-
COVID bounce back is still, I think it's a slow one, but yeah.
Yeah, but I think we're above the numbers we were at before COVID.
And I think our numbers are better than most of the towns we're competing.
Yeah.
So,
And that's part of it too. I think you look at like some of the towns we're playing against.
Yeah.
And while we're competitive, we're towards the top end, we want to get to the place where we're competitive, we're towards the top, competitive with the towns that we're gonna be playing as they're older, right?
well, and that's, yeah,
Yeah, when you get to middle school, high school, if we're playing Palmyra and we're kicking the crap out of Palmyra or Etna, that's not good competition for them, but eventually we gotta get there first.
right,
So I think we globally, yeah.
yeah, I get it, so like if we had one girls team, I guess we had one girls team, 5-6, we would have won out. Like if we put the best 10 girls on one squad. And then boys for sure, same thing, so. I think at every level, 3-4 girls would be the only one, but if you cut. Like if there were cuts, there's not any cuts ever for 3-4, but, competitively, yeah.
Okay.
Jake, how are the boy travel teams decided now?
For,
Like 3-4,
those aren't ranked,
okay.
those are, that's Terry's running
An
that.
independent,
Yeah, he asked for basketball, they give him basketballs. And then he sets up the gym times for Jason. Stop that.
yeah, that was a totally independent, he wanted to start a travel league. Yeah, so. That's important, that's clear for everybody, that was independent of rec.
Yeah, that's not a right thing. Yeah.
Terry Williams set something up. Okay, great, and Miller's will play it out, but it did work well,
It
it
was
cost us
easy.
some money, but it was easy.
It's easy.
And it's a really nice facility, I think we took good care of it, the kids are very respectful.
The pictures done in Miller's gym look far superior to the pictures done in any other gym. You didn't really see those?
Mhm.
No, I didn't.
And it's the pictures that came out in Miller's gym are really good. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, they're really good. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Anything else for winter rec? I don't know, we have wrestling,
Wrestling's
we're
happening, yeah.
midway through, do we have anything there that we need to adjust or? I guess we still have a little ways to go.
I don't know if it's official, but I think there'll be change in coach next year.
Yeah. You just told me that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Mike's looking at a couple possibilities of people that he'd like to fill in, that know him, know his program, kind of to ease the transition all the way through and keep the kids engaged. If he can't find anyone, he's gonna do it.
Cindy told me that was his plan, was to have Mike do
I know that was St. James.
it.
That is not Jesse's plan. Not my plan, but I
Yeah.
mean, you know, it would definitely hinder. If it's only him, it'll change what it looks like, cause he has to do the varsity.
Are they,
and
so I haven't heard anything about a meet this year.
He decided not to do one.
Okay, yeah.
Not enough support from the high school. I don't
All right,
exactly know
it's a
all the
thing.
details,
It's a
so
thing.
it's not
Yeah.
necessarily true, but, that hopefully we could bring back.
Yeah, for sure.
If we're in charge of it again, it was really, we made a good amount of
It's
money.
very lucrative.
But I think maybe with that transition, if we can fold it more into rec so that those things aren't
Yeah.
necessarily on the coach.
I think it'll be fine, and, like I said, he has a couple people that he would like to see if they can kind of be in charge, and he'll help out. You know, and even if it is him, he can open time at MCI with his kids to bring the rec kids in if you guys are okay
Mhm.
with that, and that would help free up, and not that they took up much time on base basketball, because we were in the cafeteria, but
Right.
might ease or start it a little sooner.
When do most towns start wrestling?
I don't think that you need to start until January.
That's so, I was in like Dover, Dexter,
Some of them didn't start till February, that's a little late.
yeah,
January at the earliest, I don't think it's necessary to start in December.
that was my
at all.
thought too. It just seems like a lot of those other towns don't start until basketball's mostly wrapped up. So,
It makes the season very, very long for
Yeah.
small kids, and hour and a half practices are a little long for really small kids too, so.
I think the more integration with the middle school, and high school programs and coaches and for every sport is always good. The transition. Okay.
I see. I
Oh,
knew you
ice
were gonna-
skating.
I just, every
We didn't
year,
have a winter,
5
so.
years, I know, 5 years I've been sitting here, waiting for my turn every time. And I look at him, and he's like, all right, you're good, okay, moving on. I'm like, it sucked. It was really rough. Like, I thought last year was our worst year with the weather, till this year.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Maine is just not gonna be snow and cold states soon, so
I don't know what's.
it's brutal.
Twice or 3 times?
We did 3, and that was because I started a week early, but we had one day, it was like 50 almost, it was like slush, and then it was, we skated when it was cold, which one night was real cold, just like 0 or whatever. Valentine's night, I think it was like brutal, but anyway, we went and we did it. But yeah, the skating rink was fine, I mean, things were pretty smooth, I think. I'd like to think about changing up the Saturday morning, Sunday. Like the hut is, it's hard, you don't wanna give the code out to the whole community, because there'll be vandalism and, you know, like any building we have that's. It's like such a beautiful new warming hut, but I feel bad because it's not, it's only open when I open it and or when we give the code out to people who love to skate and they go and do it. But it's just like, it feels like we should use that resource more.
is there like a little committee that does ice skating, or was there used to be?
What do you mean, like?
Like, I don't know, I feel like I ran into a couple people that said they were helping with ice skating in some formal way. Is that-
We had, well, Jacob Rand was one of the volunteer coaches for the
Yeah.
program, Josh,
Well, I know-
Simone DiMartino and Sarah's always helped, but like we had
But there's no like background group that sort of.
there was a revitalization committee in 2019
That's what-
originally.
yeah, that's what.
And that was like a group of like
Yeah.
5 or so, and then over the years, it's just whittled down slowly
Yeah.
to. What you're looking
Well,
at,
it's revitalized.
it's revitalized.
Revitalized.
And the problem is, it's not sustainable with the people who wrote it, so we outsourced shoveling this year, that was big. Did they ever send you invoices?
Yes.
Oh, good. Wasn't a lot of snow.
They didn't shovel
Hopefully they didn't have to pay a lot. So fundraising wise, so right now the town pays for the liner, and then we collaborate with MCI on the spring and fall, like the cleanup days and setup, so. And then I store everything in my barn, so maybe we need to have well, yeah, perfect, unless. It's technically town-owned materials that are stored in my barn because, but maybe we can get together with Donnie and talk about storing them across the street if there's room over there, I don't know. Just thinking out loud that someday, maybe if we're gonna operationalize this so that the town like does this as part of its operations, that it might make sense not to have it
Your barn.
in my barn, whatever.
Hey, I store
They're
all
like,
the
what's that? I'm
rec-
like, that's the skating rink. What's that?
I said, I store all the rec concessions in my pantry.
I know, right? There's all kinds of little things this committee has done, but anyway, it was as successful as it could be given the winter that we've had, we'll try to get
We
it.
had ice, at least people were up there playing hockey and all
Oh,
that.
yeah, we had one injury and then needed stitches and went to the ER and waited and didn't get them, but that's
Luckily,
okay.
it was you there.
I was there and then sadly, it was like, oh, could use a stitch, I mean, use your best judgment, but
You-
had ice pack,
You
I
plan
had
to
my
stay
own.
connected to the skating aspect of it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I originally came on this
Yeah.
committee, was for Pinnacle Park.
Yeah,
So even though I might transition off this formal committee, my goal is to still run the skating rink to some capacity, and Jacob and I can meet and talk about what that looks like. moving
Yeah,
forward.
enhancements, material needs, things like that,
Yeah.
obviously just keep working with Jake and whether
Yeah,
it's just budgeting liner, or if there's a different panel system someday that we. need
yeah, I
to
know,
make
we've talked
more
about
efficient.
walls, I know.
They make those, the panel kits
Yeah.
where you just kind of click them and snap them together.
Yeah,
And every liner for, anywhere from 1,500 to 6,500 bucks, depending on how big.
Yeah.
So,
and they make little homemade Zamboni type, which would have been nice, because our surface just sucked this year because of the way it was just the weather, we had a lot of shell ice problems, so like, it would be nice to get one of those homemade Zambonis, like,
I saw a homemade PVC with towels. and
yes,
elbows
yes.
And a hose, a spigot on the back end.
So either someone creative could make one, but the problem is the water source at the
Yeah.
Pinnacle. Getting a giant thing of water down over that hill is gonna be something special. Cause like you'd have to go into the building, fill it with water and then get it down to the base
I
of
think
the
we
rink
integrate a luge
for
from
sure.
that thing and just
Zip
dump
line, a
buckets.
zip line
And
of
just keep dumping
sorts.
buckets and let it freeze.
And well, the Pinnacle Park is, they had a rougher year than, well, at least we skated, but I don't think anyone skied this year.
No, it wasn't that open. Yeah.
My understanding is they got a snowmaker for the
That's
bunny
cool.
hill, but they couldn't ever use it because the temperature shifted, so we didn't have the cold at that
Who's,
point.
do you know who the new chair of that?
Amanda Taylor and Rachel Merrithew, I believe, are running, I know they're both sitting in board positions, I just don't know the whole composition of that.
Yeah.
Group, but they're motivated to make it better, it's just, we've had a couple of really rough winners for winter activities, so anyway, that's it, that's my spiel, thank you for listening.
Okay, spring rec, right around the corner, signups are out. Spring rec, at this point is baseball, softball, correct? Am I just numbing it and forgetting something?
T-ball.
Baseball, softball, t-ball.
Yeah.
We don't have any sort of spring tennis or spring track or spring anything else that I'm.
We are gonna do something with tennis. I don't anticipate it being the spring, just because the high school uses the courts in the spring, but summertime or fall, we do something with tennis.
Okay,
Oh. Well,
We're gonna figure it out.
yeah, I was gonna say that so many options for sports in the fall.
There was a discussion about, was it offering adults learn to
Adults,
play?
Learn to play,
Learn
and
to
I
play
think
tennis.
something for like middle school kids.
Yeah.
So not necessarily rec age kids, but it'd be like 7th and 8th graders, I think
Yeah.
that's part of the vision, so.
I think that's pretty cool.
So that's, yeah, so we're working on it, yeah, but there's a lot in the fall.
yeah, that'd be interesting. Okay, not that you want to, but I could see some of the softball girls. And boys. There's an interest, I think, in multiple options, recreation, yeah, baseball, softball.
Right,
So the timing might not be an alternate option because of the time.
I don't know, there's been conversation about adding lacrosse. I've had a couple people ask about fall, spring lacrosse, not really there, don't know, right, we're gonna stick with what we've got, you know.
Yeah, it'll be a tough one, this, your middle school.
And there's not really a lot of high school involvement with lacrosse either. I mean, we do the thing with Newport, but I talked to Jason, he's got like 7 or 8 kids that do it, so it's not really I think it's a very small group.
As much of the offers we love to offer, we're a small community that really watered down all. Okay, we talked about future, like lead decision on future years, and we want to make some changes potentially.
I think, yeah, we want to explore, so we're gonna stick with the way things are this year, but as we're going through this year, exploring what those other options would look like. So maybe setting up some scrimmages with, there's a league in the Waterville area for softball. Right, setting up some scrimmages and see how we compete with those groups. What they offer is just a more tiered approach, specifically to softball. Like baseball, we've got minors, majors, right, 3, 4, 5, 6. Softball, they just kind of put them all in one pot and say, go for it. So potentially checking that out, right? But I think that'll be, we'll look at that over this year, and then if it looks good for next year, kind of pull away from the northern teams that we're playing with and play more with the southern.
And that goes along with kind of playing against teams you're gonna compete with at older levels, but also
Also, they're just more organized and better.
it's organized and structured, doesn't put as much burden on Jake, who
Yeah.
has basically run the softball league right now.
Right.
Uh,
It's more organized and
the
better.
facilities are all better.
Yeah.
The fields are playing on, stuff like that, so. Okay, as far as starting the season. You got a inkling of where things.
Yeah,
want
I'm
to stay down
thinking
last
I
year?
want to offer clinics the week of April break. Kind of get the kids out and playing, and then start practices the week after.
Is that all ages?
Not T-ball. That would be, and not coach pitch, that would be probably 3rd grade through 6th grade for April break. T-ball will start the first week of May, which is when we traditionally kicked it off. And coach pitch, I think we would just start practicing.
I thought coach pitch was 3rd grade as well.
For softball, it's 1st through 3rd grade.
Okay.
So for softball, clinics would probably do 4 through 6.
Okay.
Which is another, that's part of it, like, be great to have something for that 3rd, 4th grade group. Well, because you think about the 3rd graders you had last year, they were just kind of,
We tried.
what are we doing?
A few years ago,
Yeah,
when they did that, when they did a softball clinic, they invited the 3rd graders. I remember
Did
there
they?
were some younger kids that were some cane.
it's tough for the third graders, cause
It
it's
is.
like some of those third graders last year were totally ready to hang out with the fourth,
Oh, yeah.
fifth, sixth graders, but they're just small.
Yeah.
So a sixth grader hucking it at them
Mhm.
is it's a lot and not necessarily safe,
Right. I
right?
totally agree.
And so it's.
We did growing up.
I'm not gonna lie, I did have some injuries from softball specifically, but.
That could, I think you had Cadence and Abrams.
Yeah, those two were.
Yeah.
Might have.
They were in a whole different league than the rest of my team.
Well, and they were just bored out of their mind.
Oh,
But and also what we struggle with at the fourth through sixth grade level is pitching, right? I think if we had that third and fourth grade group, we could develop pitchers at a younger level,
It needs to get developed earlier.
right?
It
And then by the time they're hitting for like five, sixth grade, they're ready to rock.
Yeah, we had
'cause
a
we-
lot of crying last year,
A lot of crying.
a lot of crying, and I honestly, I don't blame them.
I haven't seen
Right.
a sport yet where we haven't had a lot of trying. Just one basketball weekend full of
There was
trying.
no crying in soccer.
Of course,
I'm not gonna lie, there wasn't.
There wasn't. That's
The
true.
Warsaw team, there was no crying.
Yeah,
Warsaw feels like they cried every game. So
There was no crying, no
They
crying.
cried before and
It's
after.
I
they
don't
feel
know.
dirty, they're laying down the field crying.
they cried at recess in preparation.
There was a lot of crying this weekend too, though. Not full crying, I could see the tears start, but there was really a lot of crying.
We did add or change a pitching rule for softball, so there will be
As part of
some
that,
easier.
yeah,
Yeah.
they know about it, they're not super excited.
I'm not
No, no,
even
no.
fan.
You'll be super excited about it.
Not
Maybe
even
they're
fan.
Yeah,
I honestly think it's gonna hurt hearts, and I think it's.
When you explain the change rules.
so that for softball, they're changing the rule to, 3 consecutive walks and a coach steps into pitch. Right, through four through six, they pitch for the remainder of the inning.
Wow, we had hair walk rate in high school.
Yeah, it was, I was outvoted 1 to 10. So the whole, yeah, it was pretty.
Yeah,
fun.
they were.
Your proposal was a hybrid, which.
My proposal was move the mound closer and let's make it not as far and flat.
That was also a model that other leagues use.
The
With
travel,
no
the
walks.
travel leagues move it 3 feet
3 feet
closer.
closer.
And we
And
talked
they are
about that.
hucking it down there, they are.
Six
good.
just playing other towns, so.
4 through 6 were playing in the same league.
Where the
we played.
Piscataqua was,
Penguin.
Yeah, it's the same.
We had multiple teams.
We had 2 last year. Well, yeah, we'll have 2 this year too. Yeah.
So,
I'd love to see, I mean, the dream for that too would be baseball too, an in-house league, right? Pull out an all-star team.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't know, again, we're not there yet.
We always had 4 teams for.
Yep. But I
And
also,
it's not even, it's not the lack of skill, they're just not strong enough. Like you
Physically.
have physically, you have a fifth grader that hasn't gone like, they cannot get it down there, and it's.
Yeah.
It's rough,
And-
and they're just gonna hurt themselves trying, or
Right.
they have to throw in a crow hop, and then that's illegal, and.
Yeah.
I think, I mean. We've always done it, right? And I think we can get there. My daughter tries pitching and she whines that she's not strong enough, but when she plays past the brother, she'll throw it over the garage to make him go run
Well,
after it.
she's
But-
definitely strong, she was stronger, definitely strong enough, but again, it's that. I think bringing them a little bit closer, you're just gonna have less. They don't have to focus as much about getting it down there, and they can focus on just the skill it takes, that's what I meant.
Is there not a difference in math from high school to?
no,
No,
They don't wanna move.
What the hell is?
there should be
There
in
used to
every
be.
other league everywhere there is.
I coached my sister going
Yeah.
all the way up through with my father. We went to every tournament, all the places.
Yeah.
Softball. I swear that there was a different.
It's
It's supposed to be 40.
They don't wanna move.
They don't want, I pushed pretty hard, and I was the only one that voted in favor of it, right? They
The
don't,
league that we're in now, that was.
Yeah.
and if we did 3rd and 4th grade, it's 35 feet, so it's 35 feet for 34. And then, or 10 U, right, and then 12 U is 40, and then middle school, it's 43. And so that's but we just do 43 for all of them. Yes, it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
Another reason to explore other
Yeah.
leagues.
Is there an appeal process for the vote?
Yeah, I did that.
You already appealed?
I
Is
run
there a
the league.
second appeal?
So,
How much
Right
that?
away.
You voted the wrong way.
Right.
Well, no, that's why they did the no walk. That's why, so that's why.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're,
Sorry,
we're,
just curious.
yeah, we're sticking with, so I've sort of like, I'm sitting in the spot where I'm sort of in charge of the league. I'm just the only one with these opinions. Right, so it's not really like a pullout now, right? Cause we also have to work with these towns for basketball and for soccer. Right, so just to like leave them all high and dry would make it hard to ask for favors later. So, but that's why we're gonna explore options for next year, right? To check out like what would it look like to actually. do
Jake's also a really nice guy. I would leave them high, right?
But to think about like how we can think about it for next year, you know? Cause I think the no lock rule will be fine. The girls did do it last year. They've done it the last couple of years. But I think long-term development of the girls as they get older. Will make those switches.
We had a lot of walks and then stealing of home base.
That's how
what
the game's
was.
played, right?
That's, and it was,
Walk steal all the way
Walk,
around.
Yeah, walk, 'cause they
steal.
can't throw the
Walk,
second.
walk, steal.
Right, yeah,
yeah.
so.
So, I'm just out of curiosity, why were they opposed to it?
They're lazy.
Give them your real opinion.
No, I really want, like, I'm just.
So I truly think it's because you have to go out and you have to staple down a second now, every game to set up, and then if you're sharing a field with your high school team. Or your middle school team, right, the circle, right, you just, I think it's field setup, right, I think it's field setup, I think that's really it,
That's the barrier.
yeah,
That's really cool.
Who's in our league?
everybody that we do basketball
That's a
Terrible
Gilbert's
reason.
going out,
Yeah,
Dexter.
you don't wanna do the-
Did you said all the other leagues do this, they move it closer,
with. Newport City Edition.
like in the state,
All really.
and you couldn't
Everywhere.
justify.
In the summer, when they play like their, like. is it
Yeah.
those big leagues where they're literally pitching it down there, they're 40 feet. That's where we discovered it this summer. I was like,
Oh,
that
Which there was
sounds a
one
lot
coach
closer.
for an AAU team and said that.
Right,
And their town voted against us.
Yeah, well, they also had 4 people there and they voted get me.
Yeah.
It was a mess.
So that's kind of where we're at,
oh,
yeah, it's weird,
Sorry,
it's all good.
No,
trying to understand.
you're getting a little bit of his frustration.
I
by
don't
these
think.
meetings and stuff.
But so I did, in that sense, like we voted this rule in and then I sent an email trying to repeal it. And we re-voted and I still was the only one, so, yeah. But at the end of the day, it's rec softball. And it's okay.
That's what you're telling yourself.
there it is.
He's for one more year.
Steaming still.
And the other,
One more
and the
year.
other concern is playing with these other towns, like our girls may just get crushed every time, we don't want that either.
Yeah.
So what, I think we're gonna set up some scrimmages. Just to see what it's like, right, see if we can hang, right, and then that'll be sort of our test in the waters.
So with these other scrimmages, are they gonna be 4, 5, 6 and, or 5, 6 and 3, 4? 'Cause you said
Right
the
now, it
setup
would
is
definitely
different.
be 4 through 6, we could explore the option of doing a
Okay,
3.
I was just curious.
It could be cool to do a scrimmage with 3rd and 4th grade,
and just see, like.
just
that
see how they
works.
do, I mean, we just have to work on pitching. But it would be, I mean, it's 12, they don't do the grade cutoff, they do the age cutoff, so it's 12U. So anybody under 12 can play. So we would do our 4th through 6th graders, I think, if we were setting this up, yeah,
And that's another thing we've never done. And even some of the towns we do play, do that, like.
Yeah.
Like we go 4, 5, 6 or 5, 6,
Mhm.
and some of the towns we do play have their 7th graders that are still 12
Yeah.
playing.
Playing,
So.
yeah.
Which is, I think it's right, I think we're doing the right thing, I think it doesn't matter, but
well, we don't, yeah, I think it, yeah.
the. One thing I don't, Jenny with the issue we talked about is. Important, even though, first, second and third graders aren't, it's all coach pitch softball at
Yeah.
this point. Still introducing pitching and the concept of pitching and. Do that, so like you said, when they hit 4, 5, 6, it's not the first time they've ever, won that, I guess, or.
No, they should be
Maybe they start slingshot or
They should be
whatever.
pitching by the time they're stepping up there, they should.
Right. So I know Jenny wants to do some extra clinics and stuff like once a week pitching clinic type stuff and Becky Walker.
Well, that's what I was
you know.
just thinking when I was growing up, like, we always had more helping hands. It's kind of an
Yeah.
issue, I feel, with revamping the rec since it's kind of been started back up. That I've heard as being an adult is that it's not at all what I remember, you know what I mean, like, COVID hit and then everything kind of had to.
Mhm.
Go up and we're all volunteers in the world, that
I think
like
it's
used to be a thing.
That's-
It is getting better, like each
Good.
season seems a little easier.
Good, 'cause
That
I
would
just
say.
remember thinking like,
Yeah.
oh, we had this person there, we had this person pitching, we had this person.
The older they get, the harder that seems to come to, but I think because it gets more intimidating. Because your
Oh.
kind of skill set, knowledge level has to be a little
Actually,
more pressure, although you don't have to deal with it.
I think it's actually the other way around for the most part. The more competitive, get more competitive teams, it's easier to find coaches.
Really?
Yeah, it's it's easier to find coaches, right?
Nobody wants
It's,
to
nobody
do
wants to do
five-year-old
T-ball.
Nobody
It's
wants to
the-
see the
It's the little, it's the little
Okay,
kids.
yeah, very good.
Because it's hurt my hands. And like coach pitch baseball is usually, it has been hard to find. 4 through 6 softball,
I love it.
Autumn saved us last year.
I
But
think it's a blast.
4 through 6 softball is a little harder just because of the pitching mechanics. So it's a little more intimidating for a coach to step in, right? You can't just make it up, right?
Yeah.
You know?
That's fair.
The high school girls did a clinic, didn't they, or didn't they help us?
So we've done, yeah, so they've done clinics in the past. Yeah, the last couple of years we've run.
Well,
clinics,
and
so I have to
last
give
year
it-
there really was, the pitching clinics didn't pan out last
They
year.
didn't, they got rained out.
So much rain.
Yeah,
Last
yeah.
year was a very rainy season.
I think, yeah, Woody and I, we scheduled it twice and it both got rained out and then we just said we're just gonna start. Yeah,
And actually, the vacation clinic that was supposed to be with, I think, softball got
Yeah.
rained out too.
Yeah,
There was a
exactly.
lot of.
We have to,
rain.
if we have to explore like doing some stuff in the gym or something, just to get some of these in, I don't know, if that's an option.
that's,
Well,
yeah, I
we
think,
have a new head coach too, so I
Fair,
think
yeah.
she'll be pretty open to.
well, and I think what
Yeah.
I think for the 4 through 6, the clinic was gonna be for all the girls.
Yeah.
Right, and there was like 25 or 26, so the gym was a little wild.
Yeah.
Right, and so I think we just like.
Yeah.
we're not gonna- But I think the year before that, we did run a clinic, Woody and the high school team ran a clinic in the gym,
Yeah,
ran 2 of them actually on the weekends.
that's when Sophia,
I
I
remember.
remember softball.
Yeah,
All right, so you've got some start time, obviously mapped out a little bit,
yeah,
coaches meeting like prior years,
yep.
Okay.
I don't know when that's gonna be. I can decide right now if you want.
no, you don't have to decide right now, just you're planning on one.
Yep,
Travel, type,
Oh.
all-star type thing. Go-
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
With baseball, softball, we already did remember last year's incident there? We have kits for safety kits, right? At
We
the-
do.
Okay. good.
yeah, well, we have first aid kits. And we
Okay.
got, we
I
got,
just wanted to make sure there's like fresh ice and stuff.
we got the ice order packets that we
You
ordered.
do that
today.
already? Okay.
Yeah,
I wanted to make sure it was like last year. I think we had.
Well, you
stuff,
picked them
right?
out, actually, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So like we have ice and.
Okay.
And we're not,
There's
I
a
keep
few
a
in
kit
the
in my
old
car. We've used
Yeah,
lots of
okay,
it.
Yeah.
sorry, I just thought I'd throw it out there.
no, we usually try and put a first aid kit in each bag,
Yeah,
Okay,
right?
and one in half and one in the hut.
And then we've got one in the hut, and we've got one in the shed.
I just don't know if it was ever restocked after that incident last
It
year.
usually isn't. I'll
Okay.
check it,
So
yeah.
check it. That's why I was just like, if you're doing anything, we used a bunch of stuff, remember, with the
Well,
ice and the gauze and the.
First aid packs,
we used
give out,
frozen
don't have ice
popsicles, I
packs in
think,
them,
didn't we?
They don't.
so. Because we,
Had to.
And they
buy
gave
new
it
or
to
something,
them.
maybe we should look for the ones that, but I think there are ones that have ice. Well, every
Ice
time.
packs.
Well, you Walmart, they've got it, you can get like a 5.
We've got them all.
Pretty cheap.
We got a
Adjust
first
ice
aid
packs.
kit, but the Harper, that's one more thing for a coach.
We have
to
2
carry
great
around.
big boxes full of ice packs.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of
Yeah.
making sure coaches know where they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a gnarly injuries.
Oh, I made a first aid kit just for softball. so
Yeah. Yeah, so, anyway, carry on.
Did you wanna do end of season type things where if we need to register now for any summer tournament things
For
to,
our travel or all-star,
for softball, baseball?
I think if we wanted to do it for baseball, okay, I would kind of look to you to see what you thought. If we want to do it, I think softball. I don't know if Jordan's gonna do the Hurricanes thing again, right?
I don't think so.
But I don't think we, there already is an all-star team that the league, all-star game that the league puts together, that's kind of the all-star piece, 2 kids from each team go and play.
Okay.
They do have that, we just got kicked out of it.
Oh,
Remember you were there?
I really just got a lot of things.
Newport usually does an all-star team, and we were supposed to be on the docket to send kids to it,
Oh,
but after that first baseball meeting. We decided Pittsfield was gonna have its own all-star. team.
oh, yeah.
Dissenting
It
opinions.
was that every day, yeah.
Yeah, and we just never did it.
I can't take credit for that.
That was gonna happen when we wanted
They
it
were
or
different
not.
people.
I'm just visualizing it, whatever it was.
So.
Yeah, okay, okay,
I'm down for an all-star team. We just gotta figure out what that looks, I don't know what that looks like.
okay, yeah, we'll play that.
I'd be down to host a tournament even,
It would be, the challenge we have with our field
cause it
is
doesn't
it's too
fit.
small,
Yeah.
it doesn't meet the dimensions of any sort of league or kind of, anything like that. Yeah, because the fence is too shallow.
Shallow.
So, and you can't push the fence without getting some sort of pesky pole thing going on in left field. So that's a challenge we do have. We'd have to push it basically to the basketball court and leagues, I think.
What is that, that's 200?
I don't know, it's like 180.
Is Manson's field too big? If you.
No, you could,
if
it's
it
not,
was a
there's,
tournament, yeah.
there's
The
no,
mounts too.
you'd have to play on a softball.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it'd be different, so, we could do it in Manson and have a portable mound. or
We should
something
get a
like
portable, we
that.
should get a portable mountain just because.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
on the purchase.
It is, yeah.
okay, anyway, I just threw this in here, things we need to get purchased for spring rec.
Yeah.
Other than the standard, we know we need softball, we know we need baseballs. Anybody that's coaching or then coaching, things we were missing in prior years, things we need for this year.
I know the catcher's gear was a little,
I don't know about, God, I order new catcher's gear every year.
There's like, I remember we cleaned the shed out and there's like 1,200 pieces to catching gear.
We have still never thrown out all the old stuff.
No,
'cause
we
it
did
gets
some.
mixed in.
We
it
did
gets
throw out
confusing.
some. We did
Oh, we did throw a bunch of it out.
Yeah, we did throw a bunch of it out because it was just grody.
It was so confusing because we swore that the catching gear like my team had last year was new stuff, but it might well have been the old stuff. I don't know. We are not.
I think we just
getting-
plan to order 2 new sets every year, right? And see where we end up.
Maybe we gotta look at.
I guess we look again to see what's actually there. No,
It was the
that's-
knee pads for the knee pads and just, and actually the helmet came apart constantly.
well,
I
there's-
don't know if just because the brand we buy kind of the cheapest one or the lower one.
I usually just go with whichever one White says is. Like,
Oh, so,
whatever,
okay, yeah.
whatever, like I say, hey, we need this, what
That's
we
the thing,
got,
that All Stars is
and
pretty.
then,
yeah.
yep.
Yeah, we can go.
Let's, I
check
think
the
we
shed.
need to do an inventory in the shed and see what we need.
Does it get processed at the end of the season, like washed and like whatever? I mean, if you're throwing muddy gear back in, it might be hard to decipher.
Well.
So when we put it back in the shed, we,
Process.
it's set out so we know where the new gear is.
We
Is it
air-
a label
we
that
air
says
dry.
new?
But it does, like, there is, like, some of it just gets muddy.
Yeah, and then, but I mean, like, you could like maybe attempt to soak it and then let it dry, and it might be like, oh, that's the new stuff, and every year we wash it, so it looks.
I might just get some athletic tape and write new on
There you go.
it.
Regardless of the shirt on it,
And
it's like,
we have a kid's pool, blow up kids' pool,
Yeah.
for all catching gear,
Yeah, hey,
and a
you
bigger
gotta
dog
update.
dish.
give it a good
hold it
scrub
down
and
and sit down, get all that
Where's
mud
the
out.
power wash?
Cause we know it's all muddy from last year.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
know softball,
Like-
we did
like-
reuse an old set.
Or even having like 2 different sizes, I know.
We do have
We
to
do,
sizes.
it's just I gotta give the smallest size
Right.
to the littles.
And even
'Cause
that
the-
would fall off.
Yeah, I say even.
Well, that's the smallest one.
I think it's a fit one.
That's the smallest one.
Yeah,
They're
that-
falling off every time, you know?
Yeah,
Well, it's almost, you know, part of it, they're so small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charmin, just use Charmin.
Like the toilet paper?
Yeah, wrap them up.
Put a layer of bubble wrap around the knees.
It'll fit one size, you know, that's gonna fit.
Packing bubble wrap.
look at getting trouble that way.
Well, I know for field hockey, I didn't even have the little girls wear the actual pants. They just wore the shin guards and they went up to their hips.
Yeah.
There is some things, a couple things we're gonna send you, Jake, for, that I think might help us with the field stuff, to when we have the wet weather, and there's a couple things that I want to send you, like, there's some dry pillows and stuff like that I saw the folk out there could use, and that they seem to think were pretty
Yep.
handy, basically just the big pillow things that you throw down in the wet areas, and it's kind of soaks
So,
it all up. You bring it
that's
over, it
pretty
basically rings, and you go throw it back down, and it's like draws the whole puddle.
Yeah, I love that, it's cool.
They're reusable, you just kind
Yeah.
of bring them and grab them. And there's some real wide HDPE rollers that basically just kind of roll everything towards the outfield grass and stuff.
All the water.
Yeah. So there's a few things that, it was on a sports website there looking at.
The pillow sleeves is cool.
Yeah, Bill things, rollers, we talked about some sort of drag. Does Paul have a drag?
We have a drag.
We do, up to half one?
Yeah.
The chainmail drag or a
No,
nail?
we've
drag?
got the chain of drag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe we just use Paul's a little more.
Get
Cause
drag.
that's what I'm saying, bring a mower with the chain, that's really what you would lower it down and nail drag the turn over and all that, turn it all over. Cause that feels, well, brand new, it turns to steel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What would it look like to buy have a little tractor in the shed and
oh, I know, that would be awesome. be able to
drag it out. I don't know if that's a wild, I don't know if that's that wild.
we've got a tractor that could be for sale or something, little log tractor.
Oh, you got one?
Oh, yeah,
Well,
and we make a deal quick.
it may help keep that field. The trouble is we use it 6 weeks a year, right?
Yeah,
But,
we get some, well, we always drive up there, but if we had the thing to hook onto it, we gotta go with a nail drag or.
Yeah.
Rollers and stuff like that, we usually drive up with a roller every spring and do it. But anyhow, speaking of that field, Wednesday, Jacob, we're meeting with Sports Fields.
you are,
Wednesday morning at 7, Paul's gonna coming up, and he just let me know, so I said, I'll be over there, I'll deal with that.
see,
They were contracted last year to weed kill everything for us at the end of the season. And then I called them when it started getting frosty, said, what are you doing? You never called us. So, I gotta go back and look, I think we paid them for weed kill services that they didn't perform, so.
there are kind of weeds.
Or we had a purchase order, I don't know as though they ever billed for it, because again, that was tough, we never really saw invoices come through or anything, so.
Okay.
But they want to weed kill all the infield to keep that brand, we just did the field, I don't know if you know what you know, but. We just rebuilt that field a year and a half ago, we put an irrigation system in, all new sod, rebuilt the mound, all blade, all new bases, everything. So keeping that up to snuff, and they said the first handful of years, you want to turn, Turfus, makes a bunch of different products for the dirt. So we want to try and turn Turfus into it every year to make it workable, because right now it's packed just as hard as hell, so.
Yeah.
So we're gonna look to get a pound of Turfus and then we kill the infield stuff, so.
What's the name of the vendor you meet?
Sports Fields of Maine, they do. We had a purchase order with them last year, they do all the Paul Bertram stuff down at the parks, and usually we just piggyback together on that stuff, and he'll take delivery of it, deliver with tractor, we'll need it, all that kind of stuff, so. But I'll send you some emails on that stuff,
Okay.
and we budgeted for it too. Anything else, spring rec stuff? We did talk about some bigger stuff, some batting cage stuff, some pitching stuff,
Yep, portable mound would be cool.
portable mound. And we do that, like, if you go to coach softball or baseball, when you do batting practice. Everybody stands and watches while one person bats, right? So logistically, it gets tough, but somehow having a batting cage available.
Yeah.
Catherine had one and it got ripped up by the lawnmowers for whoever doing the mowing service a handful of years ago. And so it got collapsed and thrown into a dumpster, I guess, but it's all set up for it. Manson has one, but it's in use so constantly, it's down by MCI, that if we could find a way to either come off the end of the dugout or off the side of the shed down there, or somehow off the backstop with something that we could. Extend out,
Yeah.
put some pin stakes in the ground and have it, set up, and then at the end of practice, you could pop the stakes and collapse it back to the fence and like bungee it or something.
That would be cool.
Then you could use the field for practice, while
Yeah.
you send one, two people at a time through the batting cage.
That would be really
And
good.
if you had a small pitching machine, you don't have to have somebody necessarily that knows, you can have the kid, the older kids anyway, at least have it themselves, right, feed balls in a little pitching machine. So it's a couple things we've looked at, we've built up a pretty hardy, rec fund. And we're coming into fundraising season again, to sell banners and all of this stuff, so, which we're gonna probably do a little differently, but I think if there's something to purchase, we should do it.
The issue we run into is I'm running out of space to put things.
And we need a second, yeah.
We need a garage or something, yeah. That's the only, right,
Yeah,
we can slowly
yeah.
run out of space to put things.
I think, the pitch machine thing would be easy, the batting cage would be something.
Well, that's something, if we had,
Have the outside, and then we'd have to store it in the winter somewhere.
I would be, yeah, we'd have to sort of learn sometime if it's outside. On that, I'm thinking coming off that shed, it'd be hard to make sure people didn't mess with it when they.
Yeah, we have to look at different options, I've seen something, but basically you just literally drag out
Right,
40 feet and pin them, and then when you're done, you can pull the pins, collapse it back in and kind of hook it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
So is there anything preventing people from messing with it?
Put it on the fence.
Nothing worse than, no more than anything
Yeah,
else we put out.
if the pitching machine is in the shed locked up.
Oh, yeah, we
Right,
definitely.
like that stuff, yeah.
I think that would be a big one for I think that's a challenge, I know it happened, we've always had, you can also use it for if you're doing pitching stuff,
Yeah.
you
that'd be
know,
awesome.
you're inside the net, you've got pitching things set up.
Yes.
But even Jenny talked about some different pitching supplies with some strike zone things and things like that, that she looked at too, so.
Yeah.
I did buy a manual pitching machine last spring.
Did you?
Yeah, I tested it out a little bit. I'm gonna test it out a little bit more now. And it had good reviews and it was pretty cheap, but
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I don't think we need anything high end.
yeah, it's not. It had
Right,
great
right.
reviews. It
Long
was
ball,
on sale. You can like pitch, if you can actually do baseball and softballs, different sizes. You can like pitch grounders, pop flies, and then actually have it pitch. I have to mess with it more to
The
see.
shoulder ain't got any more pop flies in it, so.
Well, I know, like at the end of some practices, it's like, oh my word, so.
All right, so yeah, maybe if people have thoughts or ideas after this and think they'll look at, I'll share some things that I had looked at, Jake, and. Yeah, we can see we have a budget, what we like and don't like, so. Okay. So like spring rec rolling, there's a handful more items that we'll kind of buzz through. Senior activities, Jacob, I know you hear about this all the time in council meetings. When we founded this, one of our things, we wanted to provide more for seniors. We haven't definitely made the progress we wanted to on it, and it's a little bit of a challenge, right? Of what type of activities would bring, not seniors, but adults and seniors, right? What types of activities are appealing, where can we host them? Who, you know, we're all pretty young with young kids, and our focus is all there, so it's been a challenge to kind of get the time and thought to what can we offer. We've talked about it, we had started down the road of like bingo, I think, that we're going to bingo night.
Like a bingo night, and then
and we
turns
found
out you
it's
can't do that
illegal.
because it's illegal.
gambling.
Well, it's just because you're a department of the town, and the town can't legally do that. Like, if we want a department of the town, we could have a bingo night, but.
Because they.
So I tried to like be creative and maybe have the Elks
I was gonna say.
be the host of it, but it didn't go, it didn't get anywhere, so. And the Masonic Hall, when they reopened, there was a little bit of chat about, you know, we kind of host it, but we're not really, because you have to you have to actually get a license through the state and all that stuff. It wasn't like, there was more to it when I was like, oh, bingo night, and then I was like, okay, this is
Oh,
more
yeah.
than I signed up for.
We
Yeah,
don't
you
just put
actually
those
have to get a
stampers out
license.
anyway.
So,
It's crazy.
So we did, Liz did a bunch of legwork to explore that, and we've talked about, you know, cribbage nights or cribbage tournaments, or. Again, you can't do anything with money, right, but, one of the obvious ones was the library, right, the library does some stuff now. Especially on the senior side, if we could partner more with the library, I know they have a couple part-time employees. Even if those employees want to pick up another 4 hours a week or something like that, I'm sure logistically with all the assistant hours that we have, they're not getting burned up now, we could use some of that, maybe that. To supplement or something, to look at, you know, maybe twice a week, they have cribbage hour, or they have board game, whatever it might be, right? They have a facility that's manned during the day, and that might offer something. Also, I don't know if you talked to Brian at all, the school is always looking for adult ed stuff. And they struggle to come up with offerings that, again, get to find teachers and to get people to sign up for it. But they have resources, they get reimbursed from the state, they have resources. Rec doesn't necessarily need to host it, as long as we can help somehow get activities going, right? Whether maybe they do it, we just advertise through the website, or help with the signups, or something like that, that we could partner with some groups that have common interests.
have you had any actual?
Yeah, I do.
Have they told you, have people brought ideas of what they'd like to see? They just.
Have people brought concerns about not having enough?
I think yes and no, I think just the long-term plan that some people want to see is more senior related stuff. Ideally, we'd love to see a senior center in town, you know, community center in town, you know.
Yeah.
Some of these big wish list items, but I don't have anybody knocking my door saying, you know, I'll take charge of this.
Yeah, that's the thing. I do have to jump at council meetings from time to time.
Yeah,
Is there funding for it? Like, I mean, there's great locations for centers, like the Rennies and the whatever, the theater's been empty forever. You could.
Yeah.
I don't think they're
But you
inhabitable.
need funding, like that's a lot of funding
Oh, yeah, they're trying to sell this.
to change that.
Yeah.
So is there funding? No, so that's the problem.
Yeah, even something as little as activities, Jake, you had mentioned some stuff though, right?
Yeah, so I'm working with my students right now on a unit where we're trying to come up with some activities for seniors in the greater Pittsfield area, and then part of their assignment is going to be actually creating the activity.
Double dipping.
I like it.
Yeah. Okay, that's how this goes. So, yeah, so, I mean, the difficulty is any sort of ongoing programming, right, needs fire, energy, and to maintain it. But I like, you got the pool on here, I mean, there could be like water aerobics or something like that.
Somebody threw out
Or even
water
if we have,
aerobics or.
did we have
Yeah.
a set time that's just adult swim?
Well, that's what I mean, is we could feasibly look at the schedule and block out a time for like senior water aerobics.
Water aerobics, water guilds, or water.
Right, just so that, we'd have to find, like, if we were gonna do water, we need someone to be the instructor of the water aerobics, right?
Now, are we thinking like, cause the terms are kind of different, are we thinking strictly like senior, like you're a senior citizen discount, or are we talking like 50 plus, are we talking like adult, like 21 plus?
I think yes.
Okay,
Like adults, but adults, not kids, right? Like,
It's-
get the
Okay.
focus so that people are like, oh, I'm gonna go do an adult activity.
And I
okay,
think
well,
the
I'm
real-
thinking the pool or things like that, if you're thinking 21, you're thinking 70, I'm not sure we're gonna really meet in the same hour.
Yeah,
That's all
no,
I'm thinking,
I
but I mean,
think-
if you guys
Like-
get, I'm proud of you, I'll come watch and see how it goes.
I think largely the activity gap is with retired age people.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you've got kids, all the stuff you're doing is like you're going to softball, like your community aspect's there. I think when you're retired, kids are out of the house, like, or what do I do? Where do I meet people? How do I hang out?
Yeah. That place, that Hackford thing that somebody started seems to be a big hit.
The.
That has a lot of
conference.
elderly people.
Conference,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's only a certain time, but
But it's every Thursday all summer long.
yeah, they
Yeah.
live for it.
And if you're passionate about it, I have a man for you to be.
Has anyone talked to Sue Nile to be involved with this, or is that right? No.
Yes.
Yeah.
She would be so good.
She really? You think so? Running this?
We're live, we're live.
What's that? No, but I mean, like, does she's involved in some other, like, programming and stuff, isn't she? I didn't know if she had, I don't know.
She had 10th grade.
She does with child, the
She does
CBF, right?
CBF and she does, I didn't know if she had time for
I don't
that.
think she's involved with those as much anymore. is she?
Oh.
I don't know.
They don't have the thing up in front of their house anymore, draft campus.
There's a lot of backstory.
Oh.
So your point though is spot on. If somebody knows somebody that's passionate about this stuff and has ideas, has some energy, that's something we've been looking for, even as part of this committee, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of energy here around the youth and the kids and that's, yeah, right, that's where it should be, right? It's important to, but if there's somebody you guys know that you think has the energy and the passion about that, we'd love to get somebody on the committee.
Well, I'm even thinking like,
That
maybe
is-
some of our. I know they do a lot of different programs at the hospital, so I don't know if there's some of those people. I can ask. Laura.
Who would be the contact for that,
There's a Melissa. Lori Alexander's my contact for anybody, so. I'm
There used to
gonna
be
ask
like
her.
Grammys, they'd call them, like the Grammys of the school that would come and read and do this, that, and other.
At Manson Park for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if that's, I mean, I know that that's probably mostly little ladies that taught once before, but it's something.
Well,
You had
someone
mentioned
on
about
Portland-
tennis, pickleball obviously is huge.
Pickleballs.
Oh, yeah, they used to be the things best up there.
Yeah, we should do an
Yeah.
adult pickleball league over this, that should be a thing.
Yeah, they were half or already.
You talked about adult leagues in general,
Yes.
Yeah, I think, I mean, we
Basketball.
actually have a budget line for adult softball.
adult softball, basketball.
Yeah.
We do?
We should get one because the town softball league's an upgrade.
So if you want, if you're
I just
like,
wanna
if you're
talk
feeling it,
about
Matt, like,
I mean,
yeah, I mean, I think, so there's actually, I think there's a budget, like, I think we have an account set up for adult softball, and there might even be a little money in it. And I,
Might be some.
well, I gotta look at it, right, but I mean. Like those sorts of things, I don't. Traditionally,
Right
town-
now, isn't it just is it their own league?
so Clark Rock, right,
it does, and the league pretty much disintegrated this last year.
I went from a ton of teams the summer before, like nobody,
Yeah, there was a big to do, not wanting Bill to be
oh. Yeah.
as heavily involved, or wanting more input from other teams as well.
Yeah.
From other people, some changes to the league that.
Yeah.
People wanted and just, it wasn't happening for a long time, communication, a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
And so it basically dissolved down to maybe 2 or 3 teams, and it didn't really happen. A lot of those teams, I've been involved in that league for a long time, and we went to play, I played in like 3 or 4 different leagues, and pretty much everybody did that. We went to surrounding teams. Part of the issue being, like the league I play in Dover, we play, it has lights, so we can play Friday night, so we play 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, until we decide to go home.
Yeah.
Down here, it was, it's one day you play on Monday, the next week you play on Wednesday, the next week you play on Friday. People couldn't coordinate it with the other leagues, and so Pittsfield ended up being a league that everybody decided not to play. Because we're all playing in 3 or 4 different leagues, and most of those leagues are like, this one plays on Monday, this one plays on Friday, this one plays on Tuesday. They all play under the lights, Bangor, Waterville, and we don't have that system here. So we were trying to play like 8 teams and try to do 1 week, like I said, multiple leagues, and just wasn't working. Scheduling wise, for most of us that are busy, it just didn't work. You know, it was having a hard time working.
So Matt is your new commissioner of the Olympics.
But,
Question.
Yeah.
To come back to with the Warsaw Adult Ed. I think we talked about it last time about just kind of the stigma around hearing adult ed. Is that a required term from them in order for them to get the title fund money to pay for it?
I think that's what it's called, but I think that's where we can,
We just
where
do
we
adult
can help advertise. You know, if that's something we can work with them on, help advertise, maybe host signups. You know, Warsaw,
I think if you called it a adult
Enrichment
rec or
or
adult
something.
enrichment, you'd have a lot more people, and I think if it even came through kind of what Jake has and how he sends out, signups for the littles now,
Right.
more people like my age or us with kids are be more apt to be like, oh, yeah, okay.
yeah, there's a lot of.
Just getting a flyer, mailbox
League.
throwing it.
Cornhole league, or
I know there's like 3 people signed up for. years now.
That's federal funding, so most likely, yeah.
So I get confused as to why we would get involved in adult ed with Warsaw. They have the funding, they have the means to advertise. What is it that they would need from us?
They're not getting any traction.
They're not getting people.
And they're not getting people. I think we have a better connection right now to families, and just with our mailings and with Jake and stuff like that, it could be a win-win, right? We're being challenged to find more adult ed things. They can't get adult ed going. We can help each other be successful in some way with a lower, and I don't think it'd be a cost on it. It would be more of a, can we push out some media? Can we push out a host of sign up? Can we, whatever.
Just real quick, so so in terms of like the marketing, I think it's important to think about that, but you could do partnership marketing, so like, to their point, rec brings a different level of like thinking about it, but you wanna maintain the funding and all that, so you can partner to do this, but like, part of the issue, I think, is the website and like the offerings, so like, if this is like Granny Gloucester's adult ed, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but they have like personal enrichment, arts and crafts, cooking, driving, safety, outdoor, health and wellness, music, dance. They have all personal finance, like all these offerings that are, but they also have like, business and training, all the different things, right? That you would want to offer through adult ed, but I just think like maybe that programming is not robust and marketed appropriately. So that's why they're reaching for us to help. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's like, we want to be careful about how we partner with them, just to make sure that it's like not this group taking over and doing for them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no. we
that would be a
definitely
worry I
volunteer
would
for
have
that.
for this group.
Yeah, because like I said, they get the funding, they have a paid position.
Right, that manages it. So
Yeah.
maybe looking at how is it being managed and like check the baseline and make sure they're doing things, and then say, okay, like, here's how we can help.
But we actually offer almost all the same things you just said.
Right,
No one ever signs up to teach it
right.
or to take it.
Well, I mean, then I
And
would
it
say.
comes back to marketing and
Well,
how
and
it's,
Other districts partner with their high schools and our high school's not connected with our district. That's the other side of the coin, probably.
could be right. I mean,
They partner for teaching through their high schools and they partner with, like pulling from their high school.
Do we know that
supplies and
that's,
whatnot.
do we know that that's been explored and exhausted yet, that connection to the program?
Pointing out to other
I
districts.
don't know.
Cause I know we're public-private, I mean, it's not
Yeah.
designated just private, so I wondered if there was some opportunity there that the new headmaster could say, how can we get involved? It's like, that might be really.
I would say that has not come to the teachers.
Yeah,
at least for teachers.
Cause it might
I
just be
think
that we
though,
need to do that.
it would, it would have to be a stipend or
Yeah,
something.
and the teachers.
But if they don't
You
have
can-
that,
you, like, adult ed pays the teacher to come.
Right, but yeah, I have not seen anything come.
so
through.
maybe that's something that should be kind of re-explored to see, to your point, that maybe we can get some energy
Yeah.
behind it, and then of course this group can help, but I would worry about where the current infrastructure of the program is, that this group might get sucked into that,
No.
and then it would be an issue with.
Even,
our
yeah,
business.
even what you're talking about is, it's probably more school board than it is.
Yeah.
primary, But
Okay,
we're looking at just advertising and help, whatever
Yeah.
we can do to help make offerings, right? So we can, if you've got some adult, pickleball, cornhole, some things you're thinking about there. Yeah, I'm sure.
All sounds fun.
So where you're
I
going
have
is,
two
it's a lot.
cornhole things, and I will start a tournament, whatever you want me to.
Alright, so I got adult
before.
cornhole, Hillary is in charge.
Sign me up, give me some more.
I will say that
I'll take that.
they're wanting to do cornhole offerings at the summer concerts. They're gonna be adding that to each.
I think they've had some grand portal things set up there.
I don't know if it'll get any traction. That's-
Or we use that as a fundraiser, like we do different, like get a team in. You pay whatever,
For cornhole.
yeah, but when we use that as like a rec fundraiser.
Well, kind of going off the cuff here, though, the positions we have budgeted for rec director and assistant rec director. There's actually 3 lines there, and I don't think we're, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we're coming close to consuming those hours. Because we envisioned,
The cake, all his hours.
no, but I don't think we have any more hours to give either, but I'm saying, there's no more hours to give. I think we did that because we envisioned, at least for spots of time,
Yeah,
if there's a third set of hands to help.
I think there could be a third set of hands.
It's somebody, it's not Hillary, but it's somebody that said, listen, hey, I'll take lead on the summer, summers are easier for me, I'll take lead on summer.
Well,
Activities.
so there's a girl that's been involved, I won't say the name of the girl, but that's been involved with our summer stuff, who's graduating this year. Who I think would probably be down to help with stuff.
Would that be?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 assistant positions.
Yeah, and the pool of hours is there, and there's somebody that can help coordinate some of that, and take the load off.
Yeah, that could be cool.
I think that might make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Could we post that? Like, how we, to hire that, an additional person,
Just need a job description.
job description, good deal. And then we would have to post it in order for, are there rules against me saying, hey, you should apply for this? Cool.
That's called recruitment.
Yeah.
Right?
That's how Lindsay got me.
Yeah. you
Yeah,
post it?
that's told her.
Did you even post mine?
I was gonna say, do you have to post it?
Yeah, I think, I don't know, do we have, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think,
Oh, I didn't
when
get
posting it
that.
means it ends up on the website and probably the Rolling Thunder.
Oh, okay. Ooh, no.
I didn't look on the website.
There was
before
Cody
I-
at one time too, remember?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, I was like, I thought there was 3 of you.
So
So
also, back to the senior stuff, there was someone that said, there's a seniors club at the Elks, I saw that on Facebook the other day.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. They're trying to kind of reignite what used to be.
So maybe
Yeah.
that's worth talking to, who heads that up?
I don't know. They've had a change in
My brother's out.
leadership.
Ask him.
I don't know that it's through the Elks, I think they might just post.
Yeah, they just
At the
meet there.
Elks.
Post it. Oh.
Yeah.
I can reach out to someone who had posted on Facebook and see if she's involved. Do you want me to do that? Yeah, sure, okay.
That was JCS.
Yeah, if you could tell me who, like, if you can get.
It was, yeah, it was Nancy Montiero. The lady who,
I think it's one of those things, there might be a lot of little things going on.
Is what I was.
But there's here, here, here,
Nothing's
here.
fully.
Nothing's just kind of,
Find out.
policy, here's all the things in town. Whether it's hosted by, it doesn't have to be hosted by rec, or coordinated by rec, but here's all the things between the library, the school, the Elks, the whatever, right, yeah. Okay, so a bunch of good ideas there. Fundraising, we have, typically we bring, our account balance stuff, to these meetings, kind of talked about that a little bit, I didn't bring that up, and it probably won't, something we'll hand out a lot, but, are we comfortable sharing? We're comfortable sharing it, right?
Yeah.
We have around $60,000, I think that's the right number. That we've, between our last 2 years fundraisers, concessions, the bottle drop stuff, and some other things that we've built up. Which is strong, right? When we started, we were very, we were in that, much lower than that, so. I think we do have money to make some of the purchases we've talked about, and still be a really healthy place. And we are, think we're planning to do a banner campaign again this year. But I think you recommended, right, we're gonna change the model a little bit. We've gone for a capital improvement campaign for 2 years. I think we've changed out a lot of the uniforms, the equipment and things we needed to change out. We built a nice balance. I'm thinking we could take that and we could kind of roll that back and still do the banner campaign where we sell banners and we post them on the fences and sports things. But, we communicate a little differently, or maybe it's a half of what we did last year, which is, we did $1,000 for the big banners, 500 for small. Maybe this year we do 500 for the big banner renewal and 250 or something.
Yeah, like
for
a
small.
banner renewal program.
Yeah.
So that those businesses that already have
Still
one,
1,000 props.
yeah,
1,000.
and so, yeah, I think it's a good ongoing operationally, because you have your lump sum, you did all the projects, the field, the uniform, all those big, huge things, and obviously you have more stuff here, but to not exhaust your donor pool, because you want to save it for when
Right,
you
we need it.
want to do it, because if you go after it every year, eventually they're gonna be like, okay, well, but besides
Yeah.
the banner, what am I getting for my God? It's a lot,
Yeah, we definitely, maybe it's even more than that, right? We love having the banners and advertising. for
Yeah,
businesses.
and people love it.
The kids love it.
Love the way it looks in the field.
We obviously, we replaced a bunch of it, we do have some other
More purchases, but.
purchases we do have to make, right, and it's more capital stuff. In particular around a couple of parks that we do own, just for everybody to know, we have Hathorn Park. Pinnacle Park, which obviously is the hill and stuff, and then we have 4 smaller parks. So we have Stein Park, we have Memorial Park, we have, I'm gonna get this wrong, Fenler Park, and we have
Veterans? It's Memorial and Veterans.
Veterans, I'm sorry, it's not, it's Veterans. So Veterans is right over here by the tracks with the memorial for the veteran. Fenler is across the pond. Down by where the trailer,
Where the old credit union used to be.
the little credit unions, right here beside Mill Pond Market is the one I'm blanking on. That's Stein. And then there's a 4th one somewhere.
Hathorn.
Hathorn, Pinnacle, Stein, Veterans, Fenler. I was thinking.
Oh, we're not, in, but sorry.
Oh, no, there's a tiny one, you know where the Blue Redemption Center is?
Oh, right.
Right on the corner, there's like a picnic
There's a
table.
picnic table.
That's technically like a park, that's technically a little park, so.
And then we have the,
And we have the pool, right, and we have Manson Park, which we don't do it, that's the Manson Park trustees and the trust owns that. But when we talk about investment in our parks, right, those are the parks that should be what we're responsible for, so we hear about, investments in the concessions high, or this. It's not that we're not investing in the softball side of it, it just happens to take place in a park and we don't have a lot of responsibility over it. So.
this is the thing that's not on the agenda, but, we've hired Olivia Varney to be the pool director for this summer. It's gonna, her and Emmy are gonna tag team it. Just because of Olivia's age, right? So Emmy's gonna be like the pool manager, kind of hanging out in the pool house. Olivia's gonna oversee the lifeguards, not hoping for her senior project that she wants to redo the pool house.
Oh, cool.
Floor,
Redo the
painted.
floor, paint the inside.
We invited it.
We did.
We carried money for pump rebuild. And I carried a budgetary number, but I carried money for resealing or redoing all the floors in there.
Cool.
There was some little monies in there for that.
Yeah, she said she's gonna research what type of floor, who can do it.
Well, that's what I
And then
gotta
she wants
figure
to
out.
paint and see if she can do like a mural or something outside or inside or make it look better.
Tell her to you give her my number, tell her to call me, I'll connect her with our paintings and coatings guys.
Sweet,
That know how to do floor etching and.
that's
street
right.
painting.
That's
That's-
it.
They will never.
So I'm gonna have her call you. Yep. Yeah, so that was my questions. We gotta figure out like what we need for a floor.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know anything, but I know guys that know.
Well, that's what I don't figure out the guys that know.
I know.
Yeah.
So you wanna do a renewal banner campaign?
Yeah.
Right, that's gonna be the ongoing fundraiser, and
Yeah.
are you gonna sell new ones too, or no, just
Yeah, no, I think we totally,
put it out there, I mean, we hit
So-
a lot of businesses as is with the renewal.
yeah, so last year we did all of our local businesses. And it was a renewal, we basically took the price of the banner off,
Yeah,
you know, if you're renewing. And I don't think it was a full price one, I think the same model, right, if we did half price or third price or whatever we did, again. You know, take the price of the banner, you're not buying a new banner and do renewals and get them up there, and if you wanna buy new businesses pop up and. The kids love it, Liz loves hanging them,
right.
right?
Entertaining.
So they-
And committee,
Yes.
what you don't wanna do is hang with her
Change my
husband,
name,
because
they're gonna
he's
call me.
OCD about level.
Learn how to hang banners through the lead. 3 year, what about, so for fundraising, so whatever you guys wanna do, are we gonna do the same thing we did before, or are there other people that wanna get into the
I think
fundraising
we should
space?
definitely loop somebody new in, we're pretty routine at it now, right? We've got a big sheet with all the businesses, the contacts, and, prior years, and this and that, what we've done, what banners we have on hand, what banners we don't have on hand, and things like that, it's pretty smooth. We obviously have a lot of good businesses that are really easy to work with and are really generous and have supported really well. And most give it back to you and are excited about it,
Yeah.
and you gotta, like, guys like Matt, you gotta pull on a little bit, but.
Yeah, it's sort of like a subcommittee of this group is just a
Yeah.
handful, like Liz, Ben and I.
The three of us worked on the
We
past.
could take, and we divide up the list, but if anyone has a passion for learning how to do this, that would be good, considering there's 3 people that are all gonna transition
I would say,
out.
regardless of passion, I feel like somebody,
Should just,
and I'm not, I mean, I don't care.
We basically have a letter we do up, so we've done up, and we kind of tweak each year, depending on what we're trying to purchase and what supplies we need, and right, and we mock that letter up, and we email it out to businesses,
Yeah.
and, you know, hopefully get some responses, and
Yeah.
usually people get right back to us, they're excited to help and give and stuff, and, yeah, it's important, right? We've been able to do a lot with the donations we've gotten, and we've got more to go, but. So, yeah, I'll look for some of the folks that have been involved, if there's 1 or 2 folks that wanna jump in and help out, it'd be awesome, so. We'll probably do this, we'll probably let's start that next couple weeks, actually, but we want to throw those banners up before we start posting meetings. That's awesome.
I'll bring the bug spray and the
Bug spray and zip ties.
zip ties.
Oh, yeah.
Big guy, you got like so great grass last year, we had to take them all down.
Well, the
And then
sprinklers
wipe
came
them all
on,
down.
we were doing it, the sprinklers came on.
Oh, good.
Yes, Liz out there sprinkle
Bring it
spray in
in,
the back.
so-
while she's got one.
I had to clean out the pool,
you get it right.
waist deep in green.
If you wanna go clean out the pool in the spring, we also have a mask that's good for that.
I think.
It's not
it's
as gross as it seems.
Oh,
You should
okay.
out of the
It's
catcher's
pretty gross.
gear in and do both at once.
It is gross,
Yeah.
but it's,
2 for 1.
you want to clean catcher's
We're
gear.
pretty confident we're coming up with animals and other things, but.
Yeah, I don't know. We should contract that.
Yeah. You should.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but
Is it?
You
is it
had to
gonna be bad this
swim,
year?
but I,
Is it gonna be bad again this year?
it's not gonna be, they got the cover on early.
They did,
Yeah, they did.
but it ripped, right?
There was the rip last year.
Does the town?
Ripped last year?
Yeah.
Is it ripped patched?
Nope.
So still ripped.
If
So we're-
the new.
We gotta come up with,
Yeah.
so there's that
it was-
wall,
it was
there's that wall that jets, there's that wall that jets out like this. And that's where it ripped, right?
And then, so the water
The weight on both sides, it pulled it and ripped it.
Oh, they did it over the.
There needs to be some sort of frame built to kind of spread that.
Yeah.
And,
Some of the lakes and part of the.
well, they can patch those, so.
They can, there's a place in Bangor that does it.
Or some
For
type of
$10
like
million.
bubble that you put over it.
Yeah, well, that's
we have, it's like a blow up pillow
Yeah, like we,
that floats in the middle and then so it doesn't.
Yeah, we have to figure something, just to, so it's not that sharp, so we'll
Yeah.
figure something out to bridge that.
foam around the edges of it.
We did a bottle drive a couple years ago in the spring. Spring's an awesome time to do bottle drives. Everybody tries to do them, get yours done for everybody else. If anybody wants to run a bottle drive, we made $3,000-ish. $2,800,
I feel like it was more than that.
$3,000, $4,000, something like that in like
Yeah.
3.5 hours. And we couldn't.
No one had done it
We couldn't
for a while.
unload the trucks and trailers fast enough.
The benefit of the bottle drive is the kids help.
It teaches the kids they have to work for it and stuff like that. And
They have all-
I mean, that's,
honestly, they would not, they were students that going up to every door and knocking and people coming out with their box of briefs and.
that was,
That was two trucks and 2 cute kids, but we'll go.
so you already have the routes down. You already have that separated.
We straight up Google mapped the routes on every
Right.
blue,
Well, I'm just gonna
green
go
route,
door to
red
door.
route, black route,
Well, we had like routes, yeah, so we had
assigned
routes for
routes
each
and
people.
showed all the
We're all
roads. and-
gonna cross paths.
Yeah.
The one thing we do is the bottle place would like us to give us a heads up that it's not gonna be a small bottle drive, because we dropped them all, like, nobody could pull them in the parking lot. It's like, they had to haul them up to the barn and then bring them in slowly, but
So
that
I
was
don't know
really
if that's
cool.
something we wanna do now before Spring Sports do theirs.
I think it would be a really good idea to, if somebody wants to
It's dry
jump in and,
Well,
yeah,
right, I
we can
mean,
coordinate that the next few weekends.
people have their winter
We could get-
bottles piled up and,
I do.
We need a vehicle, with a truck or a vehicle with a trailer and a couple kids, and you get around. And we'll
And we
coordinate.
should fill the snowmobile trailer.
I
Right.
was just gonna ask, right, that's still in the chair. I'm gonna say that.
I mean,
Last spring, a lot of people have returned bottles, it's a good thing to do for the
We
kids.
just returned ours.
Bill's been home.
You guys, you'll fill it back.
Yes, he drinks plenty of bubbly.
So what do we need? A flyer?
yeah, which I can,
Let's get a flyer before, I think,
Advertising.
we get that out there and advertise now, so nobody, we don't get accused of piggyback on somebody else's weekend, and,
I think you should get it out like
right?
right now,
Yeah.
because baseball, softball.
Everybody and their brother's gonna be throwing.
Yeah, they are,
I can ask Todd if
they
we
have
can
no minds.
put a drop off in our yard too, because everyone going to the dump could drop off at our house. We could put a trailer out in front of our
That's a
house.
good idea.
I'm glad you just said that.
I don't want a box permanently, thank you.
But it sounds.
I was thinking that's a good idea though.
right?
Is anybody,
Just for the same weekend as the bottle drive, I could have a trailer. We're not taking a permanent box, thanks.
I say all the softball season.
No.
Jenny Saucier and Eric are friends with the folks over at Nitro. And they were gonna look for ideas, for a trailer that maybe we could, like a hitch behind trailer, that maybe we could park kind of at Hathorn. And be just a constant like rec bottle donation drop off.
That's cool.
I know Boys and Girl Scouts do one, right? I don't think it would really take away from that, and there's plenty to go around, but be one of those things where you hook up, it fills up, somebody hooks, one of us hooks on and goes and drops, and I know, I never want to stand and deal with my bottles, I'll drop them, anything I can find, I'll drop them in, so. I think others. might-
How do you manage that though? Like, A, I think it'll be an eyesore,
Right.
in my own opinion.
Yeah.
B, people are gonna help themselves to the bottles, or who's gonna be in
Or
charge?
just gonna throw trash in there.
Yeah, or who's
Right.
gonna be in charge of
And
taking care of it?
I mean, yeah, the Boy Scouts have had one going for years, it's parked in the Trimmer parking lot. And they painted it up and decaled it, it looks nice. It's in the parking lot, so nobody really messes with it, if people steal some bottles out of there.
Well, right, but that's on like, I wouldn't think, I mean, if I'm gonna steal something, I'm not gonna go to Chimbrow and steal it, but if it's on
If you're
a.
climbing a trailer and steal
Quiet
bottles.
down, hang on.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, it's at a park, things tend to get vandalized or.
Yeah,
I'm-
no, I totally understand, I mean,
Yeah,
You can put a sign that says there's cameras.
Um,
You can look for the cameras, but I don't know.
It
We are
sounds
watching
like there's a lot of community competition around bottle drives, so to your point about a fundraiser, that's something that no one else is doing potentially, like
The
cornhole,
cornhole tournament.
pickleball,
I feel
like.
like you can get two
You can
people
raise a
sign
lot
up
more
pretty
money.
quickly,
you
like-
say it's scrap the ball, right?
Well, I'm saying, it sounds like there's a lot of other people doing it, and there's a lot of easier, less dirty, gross, and. Sorry, for the fundraising world, like, there's a lot easier ways to make money than a bottle drive, so I would say maybe go for like pickleball, have the first ever, Manson Park is a perfect place to host a cornhole, you could do a combination cornhole pickleball tournament, you'd probably make 10 grand in a
We
day.
could do a cornhole
And you could get
pickleball festival.
sponsors. You get one truck and one, like, you get 2 sponsors or a vendor, it's all over, you can make 10 grand in a day. So I just think like maybe don't do both, maybe do one of the other things.
And if it's like, it's something that, because people that play cornhole, if you have something set up for kids too down there,
Yes.
it's literally the whole family going, so
Right.
it's not like.
And they'll bring money and you'll send food and you'll have like things for sale and you could end it with a movie night and it'd be like, boom, so great.
So just to.
Open
put
a park
date there,
or something.
The MCI Key Club is doing a
Corn.
cornhole tournament.
I
on
did, I mean,
April
that's what I thought,
28th.
yeah.
So we're doing.
Actually, I might have stole that idea.
Well, no one's doing pickleball.
Alright, so cornhole tournament for the summer. Late summer, but pickleball. Horseshoe, or something, I don't know.
Something, but you don't have a desperate need for money, it's like you have quite a bit of fun, so.
Right, we just wanna do.
You wanna do community events,
But
but
I-
I think
yeah, you're right.
some-
I do think though with the ball drive, you said that the kids help,
Yeah.
it's a
That's
little bit harder to, have- I mean, you can have certain age kids help with this festival, like you can do like the basic face paint stuff, like. That's good, but to get the kids to actually go and do
the work.
This sounds up. I don't really care, like, we don't, $3,000 for ball, that's awesome, but at the end of the day, I think it's.
We don't have to.
It's the kids investing the time and the energy and actually feeling like they're a part of it, but I think that's the win.
Oh, I mean, even them having their own little tournament, it's just like cheaper, they have
Yeah.
their own little cornhole tournament where.
But, yeah, no one thinking so,
Participating too.
raffle tickets or
So,
something.
and some of our
50,
older
50
kids
tickets
can
at a
help,
baseball
like
game.
especially our sixth graders that are
Yep.
phasing out. Or maybe we do one at the end, like before school starts, end of
So-
August.
We got a
Yeah.
festival in general, we got rid of the A-Fest one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much room for opportunity.
We talked about paying a.
This is spoken from a newbie to the committee. Beat out of you so fast.
He already knows, he's always like, great idea, but.
So there, because we're getting there, right, there's a lot of good ideas. I think something we started off doing when we first started the committee was we did have kind of some subcommittees, right? We had these two people are gonna run with this, these two people are gonna run with that. I think this might be a good opportunity to do that, right? If there's two people who want to, hey, we wanna coordinate some sort of tournament or thing, right? Jake and Emmy are kind of the point for all of it, but we're coordinating this, you know, two other people wanna coordinate a bottle drive thing and a couple people are gonna focus on the fundraising, we can do that, right?
And can I just say this? I have to say this. We didn't do it last year, but we did it the year before. We should, every summer, we should be doing a thank you ceremony for volunteers to the program because it is a good way to recognize the people that give their time throughout the year. And I know, last summer was so crazy and there was so much going on, but we should try with whatever we do to have carve out 10 or 15 minutes for a little special presentation to whatever the audience is, to just recognize volunteers with like a little simple certificate.
Yeah.
The Godfather, remember?
Maybe we could do that. I don't know if it'd be too chaotic, but could we do that at the start of a movie night? We wanna recognize some.
Do something.
Somehow.
So, there's a big, there's a good group of people there and it's a chance to thank the.
But you also, your donors and your volunteers.
Yeah.
If you thank them and you're really appreciative and you show that, then I think you get that. It goes a lot further.
Yeah.
down the road.
And we can do, you know, I think combining events, you all
Yeah.
coordinated one event, you kind of have to show up and thank them before you kick off.
And then we get more people at a movie.
You guys-
Before we show soft six, or whatever.
So I say,
It's just a time for us now, no one wants Ainsley out after 8
I concur.
The Gremlins, they come along.
Briar does want Ainsley out after.
Oh, I know.
I was thinking, I'll take Ainsley after 8 p.m.
You could take her and
I-
Briar.
Anytime. I'll send Lincoln too. It'll be.
That's fine,
There's no
Addison,
reason.
they'll fit right in with Addison.
All right, last couple of things, I think, week of giving is on, we talked about that for a couple years in a row, we've never really done it. We had a hard time, figuring out how to facilitate
Well, we
a
figured
giving,
that.
a way of giving. But what we talked about is, I don't know, maybe we've had people reach out, like, how can personally, like to give some money to the program, or like to make this donation, or that donation. Especially if we're fundraising for a specific item or improvement, that's an opportunity for the aunts or the uncles or the grandparents or someone that wants to make a donation to the fund to raise money for X, Y, or Z. That we struggle with things like, what are the normal giving sites?
So what
GoFundMe is gonna take such a huge percentage.
with before Jacob started, there was discussion about getting a link to an online giving platform that we can link. So like, we'll do it in November, because it's a very charitable time of year. You could do a week of giving for Pittsfield Rec and like pick a different thing pick your total goal you want or whatever, but feature a different rec story each day. And then you generate like your social media platform, will send that out to everybody and then they can just make that online donation from $1. to $5,000, or whatever, any amount, and then you recognize like people each day to keep the energy and like keep it spreading, and you could make thousands of dollars in like a week, like that could be the only fundraiser you need. You could do it real well if you did it right, but before, there was no way to link it to the bank account, as you can imagine, but I think there might be, so we'll need to work with Jacob.
So, yeah, long time to think about that, but again, we've got a good, we can fundraise for anything we want. If we wanna get real ambitious and we wanna fundraise for renovations of a building or something.
Well, so that's my,
whatever.
that's my brain is right, like, I feel like eventually we should have a long-term plan for our community center,
Yes.
right? Like, that should be like a target we're aiming for.
Yeah.
And that justifies, like, when we've got 60 grand hanging out, we need more, because this is where we're trying to get to, right?
There are some ideas that I think are somewhat realistic.
Yeah.
We'll know a lot more in the next 6 months or so on where some things are gonna go.
But once we figure out where that's going, right, like, if we can. sit down
Whether
and say-
it's a possibility that this could be a future rec center or not.
And if it's not, we gotta figure out
Or something.
something, right?
We know.
Even if it's 10 years down the road.
We know, I could say this, right? We know there is a project to. For Manson Park School.
Yeah.
We know there's a state funded approved project for Manson Park School. We don't know anything beyond that officially, but we know there's that.
Right.
And all likelihood. Again, this is me guessing, they will be constructing a new building. At minimum for Manson Park School. That building, I believe how it works, if first refusal is back to the town that it sits in. So that would be something we'd have to look at. Does the town want that asset? If it's not good enough for a school, is it good enough for the town to take on? Is it an more than an asset? You know?
It would be a nice
Look at that.
slash daycare, that's two things.
So there's some different things brewing out there,
Yeah.
but they don't come free,
Right.
and to wait until everything's known to start raising funds, like,
Well, and that's, I'm just thinking in my head, like,
yeah, don't.
eventually we need to have a plan.
Yeah,
Right, and I think we've been waiting for the school thing to get figured out. That gets figured out, we're not part of it.
We're
We need
close.
to figure out another way.
And there's a lot of grant funding, like there's funding in the state that you can go after for buildings, like things like that. So
What I'm
that's-
thinking too, sometimes when there's a big dollar tag, you get bigger donors,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
And that's the,
bigger vision, bigger goals.
That's right.
Bigger
Yeah.
donors,
Yeah.
So you
absolutely.
can create a case for support, and if this committee is, I'll always help serve in the fundraising capacity, even on the committee, but. If you guys are really interested or serious about that, like in the next 6 months or whenever it's figured out, like, let me know and I can help draft a campaign plan for you guys.
Within 6 months, the architect at the school hires should be making recommendations to the state on what they want to do for this district.
Yeah.
That, well, I'm okay to say that because that's a known thing.
sure,
And based on what they recommend, and if the state approves what they recommend, we'll know a lot about what buildings and what's happening, at least with Manson Park School, right? So,
Well, either way, if we're building a brand new community center, if we're like renovating the area, it's still gonna require a whole lot of.
It
money.
is,
So
it
the
is.
goal of still creating a community center in Pittsfield
yeah,
can be put out there without knowing exactly. where
exactly how
to-
that's gonna shake down.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. So that's, yeah, that'd be.
That'd be a pretty exciting time to be in town, new schools, new community center.
Yeah.
It'd be
it's
pretty-
housing and we'll be outside.
There we go.
We talked about some purchases and things like that. I think we've got all the big equipment purchase. We've got field hockey portable goals, we've got portable
We
soccer
got
goals.
one, my goal is this,
Yeah, the
I
second.
get one what?
we have
We're
one,
missing a
or we're
pole.
missing
You just have-
something, that's right, we do have,
We
sorry.
do have a second one.
Field hockey or soccer?
Field hockey.
Field hockey. Soccer, we have the medium-sized goals, right?
We
have goals we.
We need goals. We actually need, we need soccer, we need little soccer goals.
Yeah,
We gotta figure that out.
goals.
Yeah.
Last year, come on, guys.
We got a bazillion little ones.
You folder goes up every time.
We could probably use 15, 20 more. We have, things that we anticipated having, and so we were short.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just, yeah, like another bag or two.
So.
Yep.
Talk about some big pop-up, sound like some couple of soccer goals for the little.
We could use a, yeah, we could use some like really good soccer goals for little soccer.
We burn through storage pretty quickly.
So fast. Yeah,
We're still in desperate need.
Maybe $60,000. You wanna wait?
Shed, the
So-
breakfast and shed.
So, I don't know if you guys mentioned this to you, but- so we have the garage at Hackworth, right?
Yeah.
We have the hut at Hackworth, and in between there, we have this little piece of crap that's, the floor's collapsed, and the steps collapsed, and the roof's bad. I've always had this kind of this vision of getting rid of that, and basically going from garage to concession hut. With some sort of another garage door, more storage kind of thing. That's a bigger ticket, right? You're pouring a slab, you're got a big power, you're doing that stuff, but. It's unusable space, it's mucky, it's wet, it's got some weird thing right now.
Well, we really like, it'd be helping out in heated space too. I know that's even wilder, but.
That is wild.
Well, like, yeah, I know, but like, I'm thinking like paint cans and like my.
I don't ever want to have anything against.
Well,
There's a
no,
lot
it's
of
the,
paint
it's the like for lines on the field, like for aerosol cans. And then concessions food, right?
Is there no heated
might have-
space
might have
in like
people
over by
working.
Pinnacle in the Public Works building? That's a big building.
Yeah.
I haven't been in
We
there
could
in a
look.
while.
Yeah.
I just was wondering if there's heated space, they could have a little, you know, those little cupboards for
Cupboards,
garages, like a
yes.
nice one, and just have your stuff there that says rec. So
Yeah.
you're not having to worry about that.
Yeah.
But I think this is the exact kind of thing you wanna do, a bigger project, you spend a little bit more, but you can fundraise for tangible things that people can see so easily that people would
I think,
support
yeah,
that.
and people would show up.
Yeah, people would support that, you could make a day of work, like a work day out of it, you could make it a thing. And you need it, so
That's brilliant.
how much would that be roughly for the, are you thinking like 10 or 15,000?
Oh,
Create alone would be 10,000.
it would be all,
So when we did the skating rink, 20, well, so so we used the Amish group to build the skating rink building. And that was half of what like a Hillview Mini Barns or one of those programs, like they might come and build it for you.
yeah, it depends on what we do, right? If we do a little independent thing, it's
Yeah.
bigger, but it's independent, that's simple. If you're tying, if you're really kind of like really bridged. tie
So you think
the
it's
truck
kind of all
together.
regular sheds together essentially?
It depends where the roof lines are going, what that looks like. It would be nice to have one roof to deal with, one, you know, just a clean looking.
That
place
top
and
door
stuff.
needs to be sealed too, the roof, or like, it's open to the outside, so every time they.
Yeah.
Mow the lawn or any, I mean, that is so disgusting in there every
Yeah,
week.
dumps in there.
And
Well,
you're
and actually,
selling
all of
food,
that,
and it's just.
It's got like screening, but it's open air out through the rafters
So it just-
outside,
it's
it's got the
filthy.
street,
You
so
have to
all the
look
dirt.
at it how many times to clean it.
And it covers all the cooking stuff. That's good, yeah, we talked a little about that. Summer rec, you kind of mentioned that, any big changes you see that anybody should be thinking about now? Or premature, I know, but.
No, it's a, I just don't know if I want to talk about it now or not. No, it's,
It opened up a bigger conversation.
so, yeah, it's a bigger conversation.
Yeah.
Summer rec, I feel like it's it's flat.
Didn't have that.
It's flat. I think it's like well, we get signups, but they always fizzle out, right? So we'll get 20 signups for soccer, but by the time we're done, 4 kids are showing up. Same with tennis, same with basketball. Like, it's just like, so I feel like it needs something different.
How do the camps go as opposed to just
Well, so
like,
that's is to try and offer. And that would take coordinating with high school, because I don't want to run a basketball camp if Jason's running a basketball camp, right? But to offer, instead of like offering soccer all summer, basketball all summer. Right, we say we're gonna do a basketball camp for this week, right? And that be the basketball. We did it with soccer, and actually the camps are super well attended.
yeah,
So
it was a good turn.
John ran a soccer camp for us. Terry Jean ran a field hockey camp. I would love to see that. I mean, so they did a basketball camp that was run through the high school boosters. But I mean, I can, like, if we could set that up, so we did a week all summer long, right? There's our summer programming, right? We've got, and then we pull in the high school coaches to run these things. So we've got a good person running it in the first place. Right, and then we get the high school kids involved with the team, like there's already like built-in counselors right there, they're helping out. So you get the kids involved with the activities, then we still offer like our arts and crafts over by the pool all summer long. That's what, in my brain, I just don't wanna make everybody mad by not offering the thing, but I feel like we offer the thing and people fizzle out and they stop showing up.
I do know times is a big thing, I'm not saying I know the
Yeah.
answer, but time of the day. So because I work at the school, it's like, oh, can Hillary take this kid at this time to this place while I take my own two to this place and this place? And I'm willing to take on as many kids, and now I live right in town, I mean, I can walk them all across the street, but at some point, it's like
It's in the middle of the day.
8 AM, 10 AM, and then you wanna also hit up the crafts, cause they love it, but then it interferes because now basketball's starting, and then, oh, wait, swim happens twice, and it's this many days, but the fun one is on Friday, and that's the whole time, and that's just coming from a parent that hears from all the other parents about like what's wrong, you know what I mean? Not that they all have an answer either, but.
Well, it's during the day, and I think we bumped it to sort of summer schools in the morning. We didn't want to conflict with summer school because we don't. I don't think there is any conflict in after we switched it, right? But that's why we moved it to the afternoon. But even the summer before, when we ran the things in the morning, right, it conflicted with swim lessons. And swim lessons is really that's
bread and butter.
that's pretty well attended, that those kids consistently show up for that, and we've got lifeguard, they just do a great job. Part of what I'm thinking is if we hire on the summer person, or hire on a third assistant, right, part of what they can be thinking about is maybe organizing these camps throughout the summer. But I don't know if the whole town's gonna be mad if I don't ever offer summer soccer.
I don't.
But like they go to the,
I think it'd be great.
Take your arts and crafts
I think
stuff,
you
your
get
swim
people from
stuff.
other towns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
cause then
like-
they know it's that one set week, we advertise it for like.
And we could even run it from
days.
5 to 7, right? I don't know what, like,
That opens it up to a whole different group of people
Yeah.
that can't do anything during.
Well, that's like that football camp. I'm always mind blown to see the numbers at football camp, and then I saw the numbers for our football, and everybody's like, oh, no, you have towns from here,
come all over.
all coming over, so I mean, and
That's
whether or
what
not you do like one
That's-
camp and
yeah.
you do like. Maybe like a 2-week program with a high schooler, or whoever normally coaches in the summer.
Yeah.
And just maybe knock it down a bit, then if people complain enough, then, well,
Well,
you kinda gotta show up.
And then if we start with the sports, right? But even after that, we could expand that, and then we could have, like, we've got 5 sports weeks, but then we do like an outdoor adventure week, right?
Yeah.
Where we, and like, there's ways that we could work with that, right, and sort of expand that, so there's more. I feel like we saw a really good turnout for the soccer camp we ran, and we saw a great turnout for the field hockey camp. I think we improve that if we change the timing to the evening. And I'd love to do that with other sports too. Except for baseball, softball, I don't think running a camp in the summer makes sense, because if you want to play baseball and softball in the summer, you play baseball, softball.
You just go and
Right, but I think for some of those other sports, it could be cool.
I would, for track.
Oh, so you could summer track, is it,
Yeah.
we added that last year, you're right.
I would still like to do that weekly,
And that's, I think of that as a different thing,
yeah,
right, because your kids are consistent, they're showing up,
pretty consistent.
yeah,
Is
that's.
is that
Weather.
late after, late afternoon?
What? I said,
Yeah.
weather hit us hard last year.
Weather did, but
Well,
I do wanna change it,
Yeah.
like I did Tuesdays, Thursdays this last summer, I think I wanna move it back to Monday, Wednesdays. Cause that lets, some of the kids do like to compete at the USDAF track meets. And those are always on Thursday and they're long days, so.
I think of that as a sports
that would-
season, like with everything else, I guess,
Mhm.
on summer
Okay,
track, I think of as like,
It's right.
it's a season.
But I do know, I think Mike would be willing and would want to do a wrestling camp, but it would have to allow other towns to come. in. There's just
Oh, I
not
think that
enough.
would bring it up, yeah, yeah, bring it up, I think other towns is a win.
Like a week long thing?
Yeah, like we were talking, we do.
I mean, I don't think it'd be a whole day thing, like,
I don't think any of them,
but
No.
No.
I mean, I can talk with him about what he would see that as, but.
Yeah.
And he's even talked about, if you even hear, you have like certain hours for the littles. Cause they all need very different developmental things.
Yep.
And then, the slightly older middle school and then his high schoolers could come in, and in that, he has his own booster money. That he
Yeah.
could bring in, they oftentimes will bring in college coaches for that level, and even the middle school and down. So a combination of it. Obviously coming from rec, but
right.
pulling from his program.
And I think that's how, so soccer, we set up, we had like a little session and we had an older session.
Yeah.
And it seemed like that was the way to do it. Field hockey, they were kind of all much together because there weren't quite as many, but.
On the off chance that nobody want open.
Are you thinking of doing it as like a boosters fundraiser type thing for the sports, or are you thinking
so
of
that's-
doing it as like a rec?
So that's the
Funding.
tension, right?
Yeah.
It's just like,
As a coach, I want that money going into my program.
that's it. And we don't make any money on the program. And so that's where, so basketball, like I actually ran the basketball camp with Jason last summer, right? But it was run through the high school boosters.
Right.
They lost money running the camp,
Oh, wow.
right? And t-shirts, I mean, it was $25 a kid and you order $20 t-shirts, right? You're not making money. I'm saying they lost, they may not have lost money, but it just seems like they couldn't have made that much. But if there's a way to partner with the boosters. I don't really care if we get the money from the programs, right? That's not, I don't care if we get the money from the programs. I just get the kids out there doing the thing, get a t-shirt on them. So they wanna come and do the thing when it's time for that season to happen. Whether or not rec gets the money from it doesn't matter. I think what's gonna happen is we're gonna get more signups if we do it through rec. They're gonna get more kids participating in the programs if we push it out.
There's a consistency and they're used to, I get emails, I sort of
Yeah.
sign up, I register, I have accounts already.
It's clear, right? And it's consistent, right? So I think if there's a way to figure that out with Jason.
So there's a little coordination to go on.
Is
that,
there, Jacob, could we do, if we were to run a camp and they register through the rec site? Could the high school like invoice us? So say it's, we charge $40 to register, we order them $10 t-shirts. Could they invoice us for the registration cost for the rest of the kids and then we send them a check?
Yeah.
So I think we could do it that way. If they were down, so that. Cause I think the high school boosters, they get the money and the kids are the ones like, we want the high school kids to be there running the thing, right? Cause that makes it better.
Yeah, they're doing all the work and they're coordinating it all we're doing is having a site that.
And we'll-
signups.
Get them some cool shirts to wear and make it the whole thing, but like, and I would love to like make that our summer program and build from that framework instead of what's currently there.
Yeah.
What's currently there, I think it's what's always been there, but I don't think it's.
Yeah.
Great, and when kids stop showing up, it tells me like,
Makes it really hard.
well, they're not really into it. Yeah,
That's just like, you talked about football, yeah, we're joking, but that was the Woody factor, right? I mean, that's,
Yeah.
you have
It
an
was
energetic, high level
Huge.
coach running it consistently, they know what to expect. It's,
And then
so,
people down
so you
there-
run these things, and you start to gain momentum, so you say, hey, this gets more popular, more people come.
Yeah, it's huge.
they know it's gonna be quality when they get there.
Right.
Right, I think that's.
If on the off chance, there's like a bunch of coaches that are really excited about this, but like they are not interested in the littles. Before we just like dock them out, can you let me know? Cause I very much would love to take on 40 littles before dealing with any
I
sort
don't-
of adolescent.
I don't think any of them would dock the little.
And I don't mean necessarily dock, but I like what you said, like, if, I know that there's only so much time in a day, and if we have somebody that volunteers, and they're really excited about it, they don't wanna do 3 sessions, say however many are breaking up. Obviously, yes, third and up, they're to a point where they have higher stamina and stuff, but I'm down to do something with the littles, just because there are some littles that are ready to get like down and ready for some sports, and their time's already limited because they are the littles. So like, I'm totally interested in that too, if needed. I can't do certain sports, like I'm
I
not
think
field
like
hockey.
soccer and field hockey, I think they did kindergarten all the way through. Basketball's harder.
Well, I think that's when you can divide, right, because your skill level of a pre-K to, or pre-KK
Right.
is much different, and they probably an hour a day is plenty.
Yeah,
And that's the same with
Tops.
wrestling,
Yeah,
hours tops.
pre-KK,
Attention span.
they don't know enough yet, an
Yep.
hour's more than enough for them.
30 minutes that hour is tying shoes, going to pee and having juice breaks.
Yeah, water, time for a water break.
Several times.
I'm tired to put my shoes on.
That's what we did last summer, we
There's
did.
enough to open their eyes to like when they can
Yeah.
hold their pee and.
Yes. Yeah,
All right, so we've
that's-
got some things to work through, some really good ideas. Unless we can try to continue to think through the text chain and stuff like that, and we'll meet again before that stuff rolls out. Yeah, one last thing on here, summer project, this is more directed at Jacob. We went through and we split it off, we went through the parks, and we kind of took note of things that were in disrepair or opportunities for improvement or things that needed repair. In the prior town manager, Catherine had implied that there's a lot of grant money out there for things like park enhancements and things like that. So we did that but we didn't really get any traction of where we can go to find grants or how to apply for grants or what grants might be out there. I don't know if you have a better handle on where some of that stuff is or how. A lot of it, like just like our bleachers at Hathorn, they're all wood top and people fall through them every year, they break and they're busted, they need to be retopped, and we could use, update, like playground could be all remulched and, you know, maybe at least 88 playground equipment, or new benches, or picnic tables, or whatever, like that type of stuff. I know there's grant money out there for that, you know, we talked about placing some, you know, structured trash bins, where it's not glamorous, but there's, you know, doggy do posts with the white, with the bags and the dump thing to keep the dog poo off the park.
They work. they
Things like
work
that,
as a
like-
part, So.
Like, we're all that type of thing, I know there's stuff out there, so that's something that we have a whole list of things that we wanna do.
And the gazebo lighting had been one that had been brought to us by,
It has, but they
older-
don't know what they want, is the problem with
Oh.
that. Well, their vision is. Any direction that people could walk from the gazebo to their cars, which is only one walkway, that goes right back up to the street. But they all walk down the hills and this, that, and they wanted like antique style lamp posts, which you can't just put out in the middle of the lawn, they have to be like along the walkway. So unless we're putting sidewalks going out to the
Get
side,
some
I
heat
don't,
torches.
right?
I don't know, all I can think of is maybe just. Some new spotlights mounted on the roof of the gazebo pointing in those directions that they can kind of flip those on when people are coming and going and. Turn them off, something like that.
Right.
I don't think lamp posts are realistic unless, maybe on that main walkway. We can put a couple newer decorative things to look pretty, but, beyond that, I think you're talking about spotlight stuff.
With the street light changes that you guys made, does that affect that quadrant? And so is there ambient light now that maybe wasn't before? I know I saw something about. Around
I think the
Hawthorne.
street light, it's on the op, I think it's way down.
Oh, okay, so there's no streetlights in that vicinity. I don't know, I'm not asking, like, but I was just wondering, because there was like a bunch of them out, so it was like, was it?
Yeah, I
It's
don't
not a
think.
lighting issue, like street lighting is not adequate, it's
It
like.
was
a
broadcast in that direction.
And there's also solar, you could think about doing like
Yeah.
solar,
There's power, and there's lighting, I just don't think they have anything broadcast out in the right directions.
but even like halfway, like if they wanna do something, it's way more inexpensive and you don't have to run electric, you know, you could do some solar enhancement stuff that you just put out for the summer. And then pull out, like, that might be just a quick fix to make them happy out.
No,
Yeah.
Is there something, there's a floodlight that points towards the flagpole, is there something more than that?
I think there's one that points, back towards where they're leaving, that way, towards the sidewalk and the flagpole. But like I said, they park all the way down both sides,
Yeah.
so I think they walk across the grass, that's where people are stumbling down those little couple knolls and there's things. So, yeah, I think we could, I got a lighting guy, we got pricing, putting lighting over the basketball court. And so he could go there and he could look at that and say they recommend something.
Okay.
So, anyway, so we might be looking for some direction of where we can go to
Okay.
research grants or something like that.
We can do that.
If we can spend grant money, not fundraising money, that'd be great. Any other day, I know this is a longer meeting than we typically have, but we had some new faces and good conversation, but. Any other things that people wanted to bring up? I like to.
Is the
I have
b-ball court, is the b-ball court lighting a no-go?
No, I dropped the ball in connecting with, I'm trying to get somebody that will donate a pole and set a pole.
Yeah,
But we need to meet at the same time, because it's right adjacent to a CMP pole that has all kinds of transformers. And so it's a different light, I have a different light design if they can't put a pole.
that's still out there, right? As a
Yeah, I've
potential
got
product.
pricing on the lighting and I got pricing on lining for the court, I got pricing on the lighting. It just depends if we get the pole plant there.
Can we pay somebody to do the wiring on the court?
Oh, yeah,
Will we do Manson too, or just?
Yeah,
it's gonna be the one. Paul has the stencil and the
Yeah,
paint.
that's what I mean. I know, I've known he has a stencil, but I haven't dared tackle it because I'm probably gonna mess it up.
Oh, I'm excited.
Alright.
It's gonna be like.
And I'm not gonna go complain.
So, yeah, I think they're always growing up, there was always light over the basketball court there.
And there are kids playing there all
All
the
the
I
time.
think that would be, the
Someone
kids would
said,
be really
was there an
excited.
ordinance though that the light has to be
There
off at a
was-
certain time?
I believe that
Something
whoever lived on
like
that
that,
corner,
right?
whoever lived on the corner down there. Didn't like the light,
Right.
and they complained, so
So-
if there's a problem with living next to it, we'll buy some blackout drapes. No,
That's-
I'll buy blackout drapes, I
That's
don't care,
what I
like,
was listening to.
Yeah.
I guess.
time. We'll just
we
park
can-
our can trailer right in front of it.
Oh, they'll love that.
Multi-purpose cans are
Either look at the light or look at this trailer.
okay, well, so Liz, this might be your last meeting, so thank you very much for. Going on 5 years of put up with me and Jake and others.
Yeah.
And same to you. I know you guys.
Yes, I need to hand the concessions over.
No, not yet.
After basketball, after baseball.
You gotta say one session.
After
She said
baseball.
after basketball, you heard it, right?
No,
You
but
got another
Oh, next year? Excellent.
that's a conversation about how we go about the buying of concession stuff, because that needs to work differently.
How far, as far as?
As far as getting a card or something to,
Oh,
from the
right.
town to buy concessions, because I just fronted it and then reimbursed.
Yeah.
And that's not how it should be.
Nope.
But, there's no way to do it otherwise. Like, and, maybe there's a Walmart card, but Walmart's not really always the best deal, like Sam's Club or BJ's or something
And
like that.
we've tried to set up the thing with Sam's, but they need a social security number and I'm not
Right.
giving them mine.
Right, so if that could be looked at,
Yeah.
so that would be helpful. for
It
the
was,
committee.
so the account we were using was under some lady who worked here like 10 years ago. And when I
Still have
said,
their social?
and when I said I didn't know who that person was, they took the card from me, so. Yeah.
They're like. Off.
Right.
Say, we have
Man.
a credit card.
Such a good.
Shouldn't be any-
So
And so, go ahead.
is it a red credit card? Or is it like the town credit card? Like, how does that work? Can I come in and get it?
Yes.
To be an authorized user, big deal. You're on
So
public,
you can go do all the shopping.
So we
But you don't-
we will look for a new king of concessions, king or queen of concessions.
Say what?
We'll have this each
Decided for
list.
coming, we're staying.
I do want-
So yes, thank you guys. Newbies, if you're interested, you wanna.
Do we say like out loud for staying? Do we text?
No. If you wanna do this 4 times a year,
I'd like to make.
no, talk to Nicole, right?
And we'll need an application for that.
Yeah, you wanna talk to Nicole to fill an application and they would bring it to the council to get pointed to the committee.
And
Yeah,
seriously,
Matt, you do live in Burn, right?
When I
So
was in
Matt,
Detroit.
you live in Detroit too.
That's okay.
Okay, so
What does that mean for
They're
us?
in.
you're
It's not a district,
you're
it's a
unofficial
thing.
honorary members.
They can't,
Do
right.
they get like the town
Can they
rate
be-
for their kids since they're?
I wondered why you asked me where I lived. I was like,
Can they be a committee member?
I don't know. I'll look at it. It's a good question.
can we rewrite the rules?
Rewrite the rules. Rewrite the bylaw.
So-
What's it say?
Either way, if you're in,
Our district and our
you're either an
town.
honorary member or you're a member member. So.
Yeah, you
Let
can
me
get the
know if we need
subcommittee
to put
member
in the
that's not on
application
the.
or if we're just
Keep showing up.
We're feeling it.
I won't be.
If anybody likes making hot dogs, seriously though,
What about hot dogs?
anybody wants to help with concession stuff.
You don't have to shop, you just have to be there.
Baseball.
Okay.
But if you like to shop.
Right after school.
You
I
can.
like to shop.
You can order it.
I was gonna say, Sam's is all in here.
I'll go.
Yes, we did that for student council.
Shopping lists and sign up sheets. And you don't feel guilty about calling people out for never volunteering. You're good.
Oh, amen to, I already called people up, they're not
The other
volunteering.
don't call people out. Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Okay, well, thank you guys very much. This was an awesome meeting. And again, if you're interested, if
Just let us know.
Jake's gonna let us know if it's a resident, but Billy, Corey, Hillary, if you guys are interested, come see Nicole and fill out.
I think you were coming to the meeting, you signed up, but they.
Yeah, like a virtual, like.
I was there for one, and she sent it.
Oh, I just thought you meant like having
She had a
the.
hard time getting here when the office is open. Could you send something in to Nicole or something?
Like, is there a form? How do I get the form?
We'll send it to you.
That'd be great.
You can put it in my mailbox, I can bring it to her.
All right, guys.